Hydrofield cuts through my neighborhood.
Let me try that again. Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Let me bring in Elle. There we are. I wanted to apologize. I know we are running a few minutes late. Usually I'm not that bad. Usually I'm not late like that. But I'm late because the Rumble had to be fixed.
Mayday.
So thank you to Steve.
Mayday. Come in, Captain. The ship's going down.
So thank you to Steve for fixing that for us.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Selectively and individually.
So how are you? How are you doing today, Elle? We haven't really touched base.
Since Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Yeah.
Everything's great now, and freedom of speech, and all that, online. Online is a town square, and we can all say whatever we want now. It was fixed. Yay. That's why we're going to Rumble later. Because we have to speak online.
Right, because censorship is over.
Because we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Because Elon ain't going to take it, man.
The metaverse will be for everyone.
That's right. It's very inclusive. If you live in a favela in Brazil, we'll give you a job. Don't worry about it.
I'm trying to figure out
everybody.
Background.
Yo, everybody, all the people in the chat saying, hey, Stever, what up?
What are we going to pick for a background here? There is so many cool things to try.
Burn one down, Popeye. Come on back.
I like it. I like that one.
That one?
That one's groovy looking.
But it's a little busy, yeah.
It's a little...
It is.
There's a little learning curve with the, the amount of trippiness you can get away with.
No, not that. Definitely not that.
I like that one. Kind of has like an Aztec sun god sort of thing, and the ostrich is always solid. Almost as timeless.
Neo's always a good way to go.
Almost as timeless as the "Let's Go Brandon" banner.
Yeah, that is a.
Go Joe Biden. I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. What do you think, chat? It's a democracy.
We got to get our Rumbleations. We got to do our Rumbleations, Oz.
Rumble should be working.
Shit about online.
Is Rumble working?
It should be.
Yeah.
Theoretically. It is.
I'm on it.
Fantastic. Thank you for that affirmation.
Hey, Kate.
I don't know. I think I like the one that has the sideways sea turtle in it with the like, share, subscribe thing on the bottom. That one like matched the colors on the inside of your camera, like really sweet, contrasted nicely with the black. I don't know. It's all really cool looking. I like it. It's just it's more. We can do different things. Ruby.
Wait, is Odyssey working?
Kate has already fired up
yes.
the Rumble.
Everything is working.
Oh my goodness. Yay.
I did it.
I still have no job.
So let's see. How is everybody in the chat doing? Sorry that we are late, guys. Again, I know it wasn't like, like an hour or something, but like it's, we try. So we got Kate in here. Curious? Huh?
Oh, I was going to say, I get to eat dinner early into the broadcast then because we're late. Which is a very small dinner, but I have to have another one later.
Vicky Adams says, I'm currently eating the hugest hoagie ever.
Oh my gosh.
Chow down, girlfriend.
Didn't I meet a dog named Hoagie?
Yes.
Yes.
Affirmative.
I did. I'm like, wait, I think I met a dog named Hoagie. Oh, let's see. Popeye's asking Kate if our Bluetooth is painted blue or if it's naturally blue.
So invasive. God.
We have Oz Whistles and Vicky
Rumble is not working for Cirrus. Rumble doesn't.
and Shelly.
They don't like Rumble in Oklahoma, apparently.
It's working over here for me.
You can see it in the thing.
Yeah, I can see the chat and I can see.
Excellent.
Let me grab the link. Yeah, because you guys are going to want to be able to have Rumble for later. We're going to do as much as we can on all platforms, but then we will go to Rumble.
Yeah, we might get a copy. The thing about it is like there's a copyright issue, with YouTube. Google gets crazy with the
Even
AI.
using fair use.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
they don't
recognize fair use as a real thing. So we have to do that on Rumble. We're gonna look at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. There's the preview, guys. We're gonna look at that later.
The beautiful tradition of
And talk about how bullshit it was.
correspondence.
With examples.
Well.
It's about pen pals.
There's a lot to
Washington,
sift
DC,
through there.
right? Am I misinformed? It's about being pen pals in Washington, isn't it?
Yes, of
Correspondence
course.
dinners. You have dinner with the people that you correspond with.
Let's see who else we
Like
have.
I wrote Tom Brokaw a pen pal letter, and he never wrote back.
Julian.
Back in the 90s.
Well, if you want to write to Julian Assange or
Sorry,
Commander X, I'm
was
sure
getting
that they
nostalgic.
would love to get a letter from you, Steve.
All right. But Tom Brokaw.
They weren't invited this year for some reason. I don't know what happened there. It just
Tommy
got
B
lost in the mail.
can suck it, man. That motherfucker never even called me back.
They weren't that. I can't say. Never mind. I'll say later. I have things to say later.
Yeah, we can't talk about certain things. So
I know, they
Little
weren't back
said
to-
Little said that it certainly didn't take long for the Ministry of Truth to kidnap Lucky. They probably got her tied up and forced to watch an endless loop of Whoopi on The View. Can you imagine?
Like seventh level of hell there.
Oh, I love it. Sorry. Serious. Is everybody is Rumble working now? Did everybody get that link? Yay, Cirrus. It looks like
Link work.
it worked.
It worked for Cirrus.
Yay. I don't know. Are we gonna have some people on Odyssey? Is what Jilly is asking on Rumble, or are we gonna do all on Rumble?
We can do on both of those. At the same
Whatever
time.
platform you guys prefer to be on and chatting with. I know that for some people Odyssey gets a little bit wonky and they like to prefer that just for the playback part of it. Oh my gosh, my hair does this weird thing with the green screen. It fucks with it and it will show the green between my locks.
Cool.
It's really weird. So I mean, yeah, either way.
Either way.
Let me see. Who else do we have here?
Everyone.
Everyone is here.
Well, where's Gamer though?
Yeah,
Where the hell is Gamer?
where is Gamer for life? Gamer and Ganja for life.
God damn it.
We need Gamer.
Now, how come you can't chat there, Vicky Adams? Hey, Rob Juno, nice to see you.
Maybe they need
Because
Odyssey.
when I see it on the tablet here, at least on this layout, it's like it's like a one or the other thing. Like you can't really see the video, or you can see the chat. You have to kind of choose between which thing you want to see big. And on the computer,
I
it's
was
different.
just hoping Rob would show up. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's okay. I love it when Rob shows up too. But on the computer, on the laptop, it's very similar to YouTube. It's not much different, but different devices, I guess, is different.
Little said on the upside, we now know Lucky's not strapped in a chair watching The View. Yes, I got free.
That's torture.
Leo got me free. Leo and Everett worked together.
That's tantamount to Abu Ghraib, which had its anniversary of the photos being released in April 30th, 2004, yesterday.
Oh damn! There's
So crazy.
no chat option on Rumble for the mobile app.
Really?
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
What's going on?
On the Rumble mobile app for your like phone or whatever. There's Shelly Olmsted was like, I don't see the chat option even.
I know nothing of mobile. I never do mobile chat in the first place, so I wouldn't know.
If it can do it on the phone, it like can already do it because I haven't like sought anything out like on there. I know in the browser, if you do it in your browser and go to Rumble that way without using the app, I think it's laid out basically the same way as on the PC, but
Anthony,
smaller.
Anthony! All right, we're ready to go. We got Anthony, Rob Juno, Oz Whistles, Shelly. We need Mystery 1. We need
Right? Where's
Gamer.
the mystery? There's a bunch of other folks doing
There's a bunch of
cool
people
stream
that
right
we
now
need
too. So you never know. There's so many things going on all at once.
Oh, could I go ahead and plug my podcast while we're doing the intro?
Of course.
yeah, absolutely, go for it. Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up on this chat, so go for it.
Yeah, chat. Like, if you haven't heard it yet, the new episode of the podcast is out. It's just me, sorry, but it's a good amount of information. Less than 2 hours. I made it. I made it exactly less than 2 hours by 1:59:50 something, and just took off a little bit at the end, which was pretty extraneous. And so, if you want to know what happened during the Johnny Depp trial, that's the place to go for the recap of how we got here, and a little bit of audio for background on the evidence and everything. So if you're into that, then listen to the first 40 something minutes. I guess 46 minutes is when I start talking about, I talked about Elon Musk before that he's involved. So I talk about that. Then I talk about Fauci. So if you want to go straight to Fauci, then skip to past 46 minutes. I did that for you guys, so you would know. And I also talked about Nina a little bit, but I didn't have all the information. So I'll clarify some shit here about what I said.
Oh, I didn't finish. I didn't finish listening to the whole thing yet.
We probably got about 50.
And I talked about Ukraine crap, the Biden speech and everything. So it's very entertaining, I think. So go ahead and check it out. I'll link to it below. The episode is called The Defecation Trial, Nazis Win Again, and a New Fauci Flip-Flop.
All good timey stuff.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah. It's a kind of optimistic podcast, really.
Hey, Dingo. Yeah, we'll be on YouTube also for a little bit. So like, back and forth, you can be on Rumble, Odyssey, or YouTube. We'll be on YouTube for a little while. We try to stay on as long as we can before we have to.
Yeah, it's just that the copyright police will go after us. So we have to do the big stuff, the big, listening and commenting thing on Rumble and such.
Right.
Today. It's not that we're getting too involved in the topic that can't be brought up, but we will because it's related. But
I don't know. We probably walk in the fence of the Ministry of Truth of what they'll allow us to, to get away with.
Shout out George Orwell. Thanks for that.
Shout out to the Nazis with our money. We love them. Thank you so much for all you do with our money.
Ukrainian Nazis. Shout out.
That we didn't give you any power to do so.
I think it speaks to the the fortitude of our government to have the insight to allow thousands of its own citizens to sleep on the streets at night and assure pensioners and soldiers get their money from their government in Ukraine. I think that's we're wicked noble. We're the light shining on the hill thing. You know, that metaphor.
We're a beacon of hope.
We're a beacon of hope.
A better one than Obama was.
Okay.
If y'all don't mind
That was almost too
sharing out
It was too much.
the stream
Caustic,
as we're getting started. I know we kind of
sarcasm.
take a little while to get warmed up sometimes.
Yeah. But thanks for tuning in, folks. Happy May Day. And
Hey.
I hope all the activists trying to organize people to strike today get a lot of stuff done, and everybody says, fuck you, I'm not going to work tomorrow. And I don't know what else to say about that, but one can hope. Plenty of hopium.
That's every day for me.
Yeah.
Unemployment joke. Go ahead.
It got you. She got jokes. She got jokes, y'all.
Oh, we're gonna go into
Sophie
we're gonna
Tucker.
go into the Schwab later, Jilly. I got some Schwab stuff. I got some Schwab and Schwab adjacent.
Swab adjacent. Swab fam.
I did. I brought some Schwab adjacent.
Snorky.
Snork.
Snorky's luging off.
Snork.
You can get a ticket for that in Rochester, New York, buddy. So you just
Uh-oh.
keep your snork in your snork port or whatever.
Uh-oh.
That light is a searchlight looking for people climbing the fence to get away. No, dude. They said there's a billion. There's a billion serious at the southern border, a billion people since Donald Trump took office till now. A billion people have tried to cross or have crossed and been registered through that border. Through those.
How many
borders
people have gone
at the
missing though? How many people are unaccounted for? Like, because there's just no account of them.
I just want to reiterate.
Like, that's just the ones that they've accounted for.
That number is once again a billion. Right? We have like 350 billion that live in this country, but that was just a straight up 1 billion. Are you fucking joking? How is that even possible? How, like, have you ever stood in line for a fucking concert and there was 100,000 people there? How do you get a billion people into anything and through the fucking gates? What the fuck? And that's supposed to be all the southern borders. Yeah, serious. That's what I read, a headline that said that. I'm like, just flabbergasted at the number. Like, I can't get my brain around that. That's like, you know what I mean? That's like 1 million concerts of 100,000 people. Like, what the fuck? How does that hurts my brain?
And like, what's happening with the kids and these people that are sitting in cages still at the border? Like, I've heard very, very little about it, and I keep asking about it. And like, you know, there's trafficking happening and all this stuff happening with these kids, and I'm like, what? How do people have such short memories? I don't even know that it's people that have short memories anymore. What? What?
In the overlays, there's like,
I'm in the middle of talking about something, Steve. What are you talking about?
never mind. Forget it. It's fine.
Oh my god. What was I saying?
I don't know. I was just trying to generate a little support for our president, you know, like Elle, you know.
Okay. No, but what was I saying? Is what
yeah, Shelly. Yeah, me too. Like, what? Is that just like fucking right-wing fucking crazy rhetoric? What the fuck? 1 billion? Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm okay. So I'm wondering if people, if it's a matter of, I mean, is it a matter of them just moving on and forgetting about things, or is it a matter of so much of an influx of information is happening that all the time that people are just completely overwhelmed that they don't have space in their brain to hold onto and comprehend all of the things that are happening all of the time. You know what I mean? Like I get overwhelmed by knowing what we know, and we don't even know everything. Like there's so much that we don't know, and yeah, there's more we don't know than we do know. And so it's like, to me, Steve, stop. It's like so, like, I mean, do we even like blame the people, like, you know what I mean, like for not knowing what's happening, or moving on quickly and focusing on something else, because it's just a constant barrage.
Yeah.
It's like there is so many problems constantly put on us and put on us and put on us. It's like it's like you can to even be able to be informed and up to date, you have to digest so much.
Yeah, and you have to get past so much fear, because it's all just fear, steeped in fear. Every single fact that they throw at you and every single narrative, all ultimately is to be afraid of something or someone, and or the you know, the impending future of choosing this path, you know, like whatever it is. That's what their whole agenda is, just to keep everybody in that fight or flight mode, so that nobody can digest the fucking anything ever again. And
I mean, we have a hard time digesting it, and like we're, you know what I mean, like it's a full-time job to digest what's really happening. And I know that that's by design, you know, but like it's almost like sorry, I just want to finish. It was one little thought real quick. Like it's almost like, you know, like within the military, like I've talked to military vets who have come home and they've said, I didn't realize that what I was a part of until I was away from there, because you don't realize it because you're just a small little part of it, right? Like you're a tiny little fraction of the bigger picture of what's happening, and because it's all so controlled and you only know that one little bit, it makes it easier for the you know, the ones in charge to put all those pieces together. But you don't see that entire puzzle piece. I mean, you're only one puzzle piece to an entire puzzle, so people don't see all the little bits of all the things and all the connections together.
Yeah,
I just, and like just even thinking about that, it's like it's how they get away with it. And it's why we need more voices out there explaining things as much as we possibly can.
And they keep you distracted at work. Like I've noticed since I've been unemployed for the last February, March, April, 2 months or whatever, that, and now it's running out, of course, that, you know, I'm open to seeing more. I'm open to like following things more than I would have been if I were working even from home. You just don't have time to do all the research that you would like to do. So I am more informed now than I was before because I have more time to focus on it. But then that also like gets me really overwhelmed, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta watch something funny or fun to distract away from it because I don't want to kill myself every day. So, you know, with all that information, it's very depressing for a depression person.
It is. It's very depressing and it's frustrating
person, it's depressing, but yeah, like you just have to like take it all in, and especially the fucking press briefings. You guys do not know how much I have to hear Jen Psaki. It's too much. It's too fucking much. She cannot leave any sooner than I would like her to leave. It's just, I can't.
We'll get into that after we're oh my gosh.
But she fucking shows up.
It's so awful.
Makes me want to vomit. And Corden. Oh, you can't keep Corden out. Oh my gosh, it's just a total shit show. And I just simply put in the comments for the C-SPAN video of the White House Correspondents' Dinner 2022. I just put fuck everyone involved in this shit show, just across the board. Fuck all of you.
Yeah, Oz Whistles put it right. These days, when I cram new things in my head, the old one falls out. It's exactly what happens. It's like you can only there's only so much room in the cup, and they just like there's a million drops that go in there, and then eventually it just it's like I get to the point some days where I'm just like, fuck, I don't know if I can do this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I can do this, but it's like there's not an option for me now to do it too. You know what I mean? Like it feels like to the overwhelming to the point where it's like I don't know if I can do this, or whatever, and I'll just feel like, oh gosh, it's so overwhelming. But then I know that I'm not going to give up on it. I won't give up on it because I'm not going to stick. You can't stick your head back in the sand. Once you know, you freaking know. But sometimes it's like I have to just I have to digest less information. Like I'll go on breaks where I really just don't watch like a lot of like shows, or I won't be, even if I do watch them, I won't be in the chat much and this and that. And like I'll have like these kind of like lulls because I have to for my own sanity. Because it's so much. It's like me knowing it isn't going to change it. You know what I mean? Like me knowing it and but like it will, but like if I have to catch up on something because I miss some stuff, then Steve, can you get the Everett? He's being a brat today. He is being a brat. And he's been outside twice today to be out and get fresh air. And he's just like, no. He wants to be a freaking asshole. As the fave. Yeah, we're all being pushed into depression by design. Yeah,
I didn't absolutely. Even need to be pushed by the media. The media had nothing to do with mine.
Generations of depression and trauma is just spread across friggin', this entire country, every country, forever. It's just trauma that never heals, and it just keeps affecting the next generation and so on and so forth. And I believe that's a real thing, and that contributes to everyone's depression and everyone's, inherent energy and will to live, and all of that is being systematically snuffed out, like by this constant barrage of fear and terrifying narrative.
I'm going to circle back to that later, by the way. Mm-hmm. That notion, the depression notion, because it is a lot of my background.
Yep.
With the abuse that I suffered as an adolescent, that I want to warn people about the signs of what I went through. Like, just let you know that you're not alone, or you can get out of that situation, whatever it is. So
here's Mr. Brat himself. Oh, look, he's not showing up. There he is. Oh.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. Trauma is generally generational. And it's just multi-generational at this point. Just hundreds of years of, people being born and dying in this fucking miserable state.
Baba!
And they just refine the miserableness for everyone. It just gets more to a finite point.
Oz Whistles said, the only way I can stay on top of everything is to abstract it into constructural structures. Problem is that it's hard to not over abstract into a delusional ideology. Yeah.
Yeah. Really easy to lose yourself into one ideology or another.
Well, and also to categorize it so much and like you don't want to dehumanize what you're learning, right? You want to keep it because we want to have the passion, we want to feel, right? We don't want to slip into that dehumanization aspect of things, but also at the same time, we want to be able to maintain our sanity. So where do we find that balance? You know, like that, the balance of that, it can be really difficult. But I think one of the ways that we do combat that is by talking to each other, having each other, knowing that we can talk to each other and say, hey, I'm having a really bad fucking day or whatever. I'm feeling weird. You know what I mean? Just reaching out to each other.
Not projecting. That's so important. Like if you're having a bad day, say you're having a bad day. Say why you're upset. Don't put it on the other person. What you're feeling, the trauma that you've suffered on the other people, because that makes them resent you.
Yeah, and be honest about that too. Like when we are reacting to somebody, we should pay attention to our own like feelings and what's going on with us and why are we reacting that certain way, right? Like being consciously aware of that and being adult about it too. That's the thing. Like at least being mature about it. Maybe not adult, because I don't think adults are like really that freaking that doesn't equate maturity to me.
Way too generalizing.
Yeah. But like, you know, just to be mature and about it and say, okay, you know, like people are gonna have bad days. They're gonna say shit that they don't mean. You know what I mean? That kind of thing happens. And what kindness would you want shown to you if you were going through that yourself? You know,
put yourself.
Nobody's perfect. None of us are perfect.
Practice empathy in all your daily activities. It makes you a better person. Believe me. I have tendencies, psychopathic, not psychopathic, but like I have tendencies psychologically to turn into my father, and he's not a pleasant person. So I have to curb those tendencies a lot. And the way that I do so is by putting myself in other people's shoes, which he doesn't fucking do, which is another problem with him. But that's another issue. But he gave me certain things as red flags that I'd be like, okay, I don't want to be like this person. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'm going to be the opposite of this. I'm going to act a different way than he acts in these situations. And then that, you know, and then in terms of like loving everyone, which is what I do. And as long as you haven't killed anyone, raped anyone, whatever the fuck, then I will love you. And even then there are situations where people can make a horrific mistake, you know, DUI or some shit like that. Like they can kill someone, not even mean it. And there's so much complexity there that I don't want to say all killers, you know.
But we also need to remember that we teach people how to treat us. And if we're going to accept behavior from people and make excuses for them when they are behaving and they're acting out of trauma or they're acting out of whatever the reason is, we did not also make excuses. No, I'm just saying though, in general, like, you know what I mean? Don't make excuses for the people and hold them to the same account, right? Like, because I mean, like, would you let a child behave a certain way? Then you probably shouldn't just ignore an adult behaving that way too. And we teach people how to treat us in the way that we, you know, we call our boundaries and we say, okay, like that's not okay with us. And so you need to know that that's not okay. That's a boundary. You know what I mean? And communicate.
Even when you teach them how to treat you, like they will, what is the word? Like they will cross over that boundary of decency and hurt you still. And
every dog will try
to do it. And that can be very difficult for someone like myself, who's a masochist, who has masochistic tendencies and depression. Like it's very difficult for us to deal with people trampling on us. We're just so used to it by now. We're just like, okay, well, you're just another one to add to the list. Great. But you know, it's it's also not letting that get to you so much that you think about it all the time. Like I try to not think about people who hate me or dislike me all the time, because I can't change them. That's the thing. You can't change people who don't want to be changed, who want to stay in that that very bad place where you escaped from, and they want to stay there. They want to wallow. I'm not wallowing anymore. I'm past the wallowing stage. I'm getting too old for this shit.
Well, like
And
I say all the
so-
time, make
Yeah.
peace with truth. Like,
That's just empathize with other people and put yourself in their position, and be outside of yourself when you're looking at how you treat others and how you communicate with others. I practice, kind of a spiritual kind of taking myself out of the situation and looking at it from an outside observer and seeing who I would agree with or wouldn't agree with in this, argument or what have you, or seeing it from their side entirely, seeing it from my side a little bit, but recognizing that neither side is the full side. There's half of a side there. There's not a whole wall. It's half a wall, and you have to figure out where the door is. So I don't know. It's a bunch of metaphors that I just came up with. That's improv.
I told you she had jokes.
Anyway, just treat people nice. It basically comes down to this quote that I read. What is it? It's fuck. What is it called? Be kind always. You never know what someone's going through. Something like that.
oh yeah. You
You
never know what
you
someone
don't
else
know
is going
the
through.
battle
Yep.
that somebody else is fighting. Everyone's fighting a battle you know nothing about. That's it. That's the fucking quote. Thank you.
Yeah,
Found
we
it.
have invisible battles that and things that people that are invisible to ourselves too, like trauma that we've gone through, things that have influenced us that we might not even be completely aware of, or why we behave a certain way. And unless we're willing to really look at ourselves critically in the same light that, most people look at others, then we're not gonna even be able to remotely be able to see. So if we can't see our own things and we have our own invisible traumas, we need to remember that other people also have their own.
Yeah, man. It's generational. That's what I was saying.
Well, yeah, but it's invisible too.
Oh, yeah.
Their
It's
traumas
really
are invisible, and so are some of our own traumas. We have our own filters and in our perception of what how we were raised and or not raised, be.
Some traumas just show themselves and are not always perceived as the thing that they are. You know what I mean? And oftentimes they're not perceived as the thing that they are, or what the cause of the trauma is lost on people. All they see is a reaction. And,
Yes, that goes into the Johnny
that's-
Depp trial too, because there's a lot of trauma in that trial that we've explored in the.
I think life is like that in general. There's a lot of things that just pop out, and you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that to happen. But, somebody else was feeling that thing. And that was a real thing that happened, that was going to happen because they needed it to, or somebody needed it to. And you might not understand why it did, but, that's irrelevant to the universe is going to do that. That's just kind of like rolling with the punches kind of thing.
What I mean to allude to is the addiction, the drugs versus addiction thing. People look at the reaction to the addiction, which is the drug use and substance abuse, and they look at that and they judge that, when it's actually just trying to cope with something that you can't really understand or face, which is the addiction. And everybody has an addiction to something. That's the fucking truth. All of us have our vices. So who is anyone to judge any other person? And that's what's happening in this trial. If you,
it's crazy. Yeah, because coffee, coffee is an addictive drug. It's like it's socially it's socially acceptable to drink coffee, to drink beer, to go out and get drunk, to be an alcoholic. It's pretty socially acceptable as long as you're a functioning alcoholic. You know what I mean? Like it's like there are things that they say are socially acceptable, and it's like, but we socially know that a lot of people have the same traumas, and they're not acceptable. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's like we need to have more of an open mind.
Because in this instance, Johnny Depp had testified that he was using since he was 11 because his mother needed nerve pills and had him go get them, and she was abusive in her own right, and verbally abusive and physically abusive. And he would, get the nerve pills, and eventually he was like, let me try them. And then he got numb to whatever was ailing him from the abusive relationship that he had. And he took that with him into his famous life, into the musician life that he had, which is always riddled with addiction. If you go back way, way back, you'll see a lot of addicts who were in the pop music scene and stuff, and rock music, rockabilly, whatever. And so he got involved in that, and then he became an actor, and he had even more access. So he got into cocaine and everything. So it's just like, it's different stages, but it's also dealing with the same trauma that he dealt with, and then grief with his mother passing during the relationship that went awry, which is why they're in court right now. So, it's just that thing where, Hollywood, oddly enough, loves to supply drugs, but also loves to, one, glamorize drugs in films, and also make people feel bad about their decisions while on drugs in the media. So the media just will always tear down a celebrity when a celebrity does something wrong in terms of drug use and stuff. Whereas the movies are just like, whatever, they give the drugs. Did you know? I think it was Taxi Driver or whatever, but Martin Scorsese was just high all the fucking time on coke. He was always on coke. And then Easy Rider, they were high the whole fucking time, right? Doing the whole movie, making the movie. That's the word I'm trying to use. And so it was totally like acceptable back then. And in music, like everybody did drugs in the music scene. If you didn't, you were square. It's like, it's interesting, like, to see the dichotomy and like the way that the media takes down people who they put up in a version of Schadenfreude. That's what it all comes down to. It's like people, or they think that people, they're selling magazines and selling publications, but the people want to see the celebrity on a pedestal and then have it, ripped away and have them fall down.
Yeah, how much really can they manage that life with the drugs, with all the things? You know what I mean? Like it's like you get paid enough so that you could be the entertainment long after you're not the entertainment in the movies. You're gonna be, your life needs to be entertaining. So we need to make sure that you have all of the things. You
die. That's still
and then you become. Then you're just like a legend,
movies. Then you're worth more dead than alive. That's the truth, especially in the music industry. Do not get me started on the music industry. I could go all day talking about all the dudes who've died who have made money after the fact for their respective labels.
Oh yeah. That's
going back a long way. Well,
we can do a thing on Steve's for that. That would be awesome. That Steve would, I'm sure, would love to do that.
All the way back to Sitting on Dock of the Bay, which came out after he died, after Otis Redding died. That came out.
I wanted to bring up what Shelley was saying here. It waters down the severity of actual life-altering addiction when the label of addiction gets slapped on way too many things. I just wanted to, before, I scrolled way too far past that or the topic of it. I think that there's levels to every addiction. I think that, using the term addiction is a very umbrella term. It's a very broad brush, like we can, there's different levels of addiction and because people are addicted to tobacco and, I was a smoker for years and years on and off, quit many times. And it's hard. It is hard. I've had addictions to many different things, and different things are, different levels of it. And I think that addictions affect different people in different ways, and certain things have a stronger hold on people in certain ways. So something can be, what I might consider a life altering addiction for myself might not be the same life altering addiction for somebody else. So it's all there's a range and there's a scale to all of it.
Shelly says that she.
I cut out for a second there because it was buffering, and I was like, "Where'd she go?"
Oh,
that was just my internet or whatever. Just fuck you for a second.
Shelly said that she said, "I'm sure I have an unpopular opinion on addiction, but I've gone to a lot of NA and AA meetings with friends for support and to work through my own shit with my brother and my dad. And it's like we have an addiction to addiction." And I'm like, I've seen that before. I've been through the meetings and stuff too for, in the
I don't like
days.
that it's religious at all.
That part of it always fucks with me.
It's just a new addiction, honestly.
It's like a Band-Aid to it. But if it were, I don't think it works for everybody. Some people do need that, and they need that community structure. And I guess if your whole life, if everybody is in this loop of addiction, right, and you're trying to break that loop of addiction, and everybody in your life is in that, you know what I mean? Then how do you find a new community? And as adults, I think it's harder for you to go out and make friends with other adults as an adult, as opposed to being a kid. Right? When I was a kid, I moved around all the time. Every couple of years we were moving. So my mom said when I was 4, we moved from Washington State to New Orleans. And when we moved to New Orleans, I said, okay. I went and knocked on doors and said, do you have any kids my age? Do you have any kids my age? I was 4 years old. I went out and found my tribe. But that's not something that's easy for everybody to do, is to go out and find their tribe. And like what you were saying about, with Johnny Depp, his tribe was his mom, right? And he went and tried, oh, well, mom does this. This is what my tribe does. This is the mom's addiction. So I'm going to share mom's addiction.
And then in the same vein, he grew up, he was saying that his father would punch walls after she started, shouting obscenities at him and treating him horribly and trying to start fights and stuff, she was driving him to a point where he just didn't want to stick around. And that when he left, he hated that his dad left, and he felt like he was punishing him and leaving him with her. And he also was like, you know what, you should have just stayed and worked through it or whatever. But then he tried to do that with his significant other, who's the subject of this trial, who had made an op-ed alongside ACLU and the Washington Post, accusing him, but not accusing him because she didn't want to get a case, but she still got a case, so it didn't really work. But alluding to him hitting her in a couple of years ago or whatever, and this is in 2018. So if you did the math, you're like, oh, okay, 2 years ago she got a restraining order. Well, that was him. Duh. So then he sued her for $50 million because of his losing opportunities in Hollywood and getting canceled and everything for being a wife beater, as they called him in another article, which he lost that suit. But anyway,
and that's almost like an addiction itself too, right? The addiction to the celebrityism and wanting to like make money off of their lives. So like they want that trauma, right? I mean, they
Well, he
they
definitely
made
did,
money
but he-
off of the trauma,
his thing
even
was
if
that
even
he-
if it wasn't
he-
true, they made money off of the trauma that those guys, you know what I mean? Like the trauma
She made
feeds
money
more
off of
trauma and more
fake
money.
trauma. She made money off of fake trauma and got opportunities that she wouldn't have probably gotten if it weren't for that trauma. He did not want everything to be public, but once everything was shattered in their relationship and she had betrayed him and put him in this position, he felt like he had no other recourse rather than court. Well, other than court, because the court of public opinion had already made their decision, and he figured, you know, I'm not going to go down without a fight. And that's how all these private matters became public, because of everything that she tried to do. And basically, like, she seemed to be a gold digger in the first place, never signed the prenup, gave him crap about it, gave him crap about going to parties and doing events and going to do his job and stuff, and keeping him from actually pursuing what he wanted to do with his career. So either way, he was going to be fucked. But this way, you know, he's like really fucked. And he's dealing with, you know, the trauma of like getting into a relationship with someone who wasn't all there with him, and ignoring the signs in the beginning that she was not the right woman for him. And she was close to his mother. Like, she was close in personality to his mother. And so he ended up marrying her and regretting it and trying to make it work like his father did, and then realizing that he couldn't be better than his father and stay and make it last longer, and that he had to give up at some point too, or he would have to give up his life, basically, in so many ways. But that's basically my interpretation of his testimony and what I've seen so far. And it was revealed that she had borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder from a forensic psychologist, Dr. Shannon Curry, who had done a 12-hour evaluation of her. Court ordered, of course, because they had to find out what the hell was going on with her, because it did not make sense. The tapes that you hear where she seems totally normal 1 second and then she's out, you know, going crazy, then not crazy. She's going ballistic the next, and like shouting at him and treating him horribly and saying that she hit him and stuff. Like, it was just a whole mess and very toxic, the whole thing. But it's good to see that there's some kind of mental reason for it. But it's also sad to see that putting myself in her shoes, not her shoes, but like understanding where she's coming from. It's not all her that's responsible technically for what happened, but it blew up in her face, and she is the one who manipulated the whole situation. So she should pay for that aspect of it. But people were also just believing everything that she said, and you just can't believe everything that someone says without evidence. And this is another reason that we need to have evidence. You can't believe all women, you can't believe all whatever, unless you have evidence to support their statements. If you have evidence to the contrary, you certainly can't believe them. That's something that could be learned from this case for sure.
Absolutely.
And don't stay in a dead-end abusive relationship if you can avoid it, because it's not going to get any better. It never does. They're not just going to change one day. I know from experience. You got to get out.
Yeah. And, you know, when being friends with somebody who's maybe in that kind of situation, it can be a really, really tough thing. It can be really tough if you see somebody in that cycle of abuse. Like, I haven't watched all the Depp Heard case stuff. I've watched, you know, I watch. I listened to the podcast that you did about it, and you know, like what you've informed me on, and then what Shonda and Farron. I like combined their names in my brain for a second.
They are Sharon.
They would make the perfect woman.
No, nobody would be perfect.
We can find them.
But like what they've said, but yeah, like, and the way that you've described it, like when we look at it as not the celebrityism of it, not the addiction to the celebrity, not the addiction to, of seeing that trauma being played out in the courts. Like, for me, I'm like, why? What, Steve? To me, I'm like, why is there so much more attention on this than the Ghislaine Maxwell fucking case? Like, why is
Because
this
it's
case?
televised, because it's live streamed and it's not federal. So that's the answer. The straight answer, based on evidence, is that this trial is one. It's a Schadenfreude, and now it's like a comeback story in the media. So the way they cover it now is very different than how they covered the UK trial that happened 2 years ago. So now all of a sudden Johnny Depp's like what do you call it? The underdog. He's the underdog. He's the one you want to win. He's the one you're rooting for in this scenario. So now the media has different calling, a different marching order than they did last time, and they've switched teams. That's what happened there. That's why all the media is starting to cover it, because they want to cover the salaciousness of it, and they also want to cover the turdness, because there's a turd involved. We got to cover that because we're just so stupid. And the meme
to me,
stuff,
when I hear that, I just hear mental health. Like, that is a mentally,
yes,
that the mental health
very
of an
mentally
individual who decides to do that is unwell. That's an unwell person. And
yes.
it's like, I feel bad for the person on both ends of that. I think that it's like, like, it's very immature. It's not, like, what the hell?
I feel
What
bad
the
for
hell?
the staff too that had to clean it. And then also the other thing, as I said, it's live.
Can you imagine doing that and then having someone else clean it up? That is disgusting.
Oh,
that
they
is
cleaned
absolutely
up a lot after
disgusting.
her. They cleaned up a lot of
See,
stuff.
I wouldn't want somebody doing that behind me. That's just weird. It's like I don't want somebody like dawdling over me like
That's
that. Like,
crazy. That's insane, because like she just didn't give a shit about other people, according to the evidence that I've seen. That's very obvious that she doesn't think about other people a lot of the time, which is why a lot of people have issues with her as well. In their relationships, like, she's had a lot of abandoned friendships and stuff, and it's sad because she's always been afraid of being abandoned, because she has a whole cycle of abuse in her family as well. I mean, both were just gonna be beyond. But aside from that,
it was a recipe for a disaster. Like, the whole thing, the two of them, it just seems like this was going to be kind of like the final outcome in the end. And it's like, well, I wonder how much of it is orchestrated.
So she orchestrated a lot of it with the friends.
I know, but even before that, like the setup of like how they got together and like how things happen, like there's just, like I don't trust that any of this shit isn't like, like people aren't like pushing for certain people to do certain things together and celebrityism because it's going to make, like, oh, this will be a good,
That's the case in this, because I've seen all of the evidence. You just can't fake every single evidence that I've seen that corroborates his story. It's just not possible.
I don't mean them. I don't mean the live situation of what happened, but them getting pushed together and like, becoming a couple. Like, how did that happen? Was there any other moving parts that kind of like were like, oh, we'll put these two together, like, like a matchmaking type thing to make it where the situation is going to be volatile in the end. I don't think that it was necessarily like an intentional. I'm not saying that like they did it, you know what I mean? But
somebody tried to get them together and they shouldn't have. But then also there was sexual attraction involved. So according to his story. So, it's just all these things at the same time, and him just ignoring the signs and stuff. But anyway, yes. So Ghislaine Maxwell's trial was even closed off to being heard. It was supposed to be heard at first, and I covered it too. And I mean, I read a lot of it, the transcripts and stuff. And it was supposed to have an audio line, and then they got rid of that. So they didn't have it at all available to the public. So that's what they do for federal, because they don't want their business out there and people talking about it in the federal courts. So this one was supposed to be private, according to Amber's team. She wanted it to be private. She didn't want it to be live streamed. But Johnny was like, no, you're going to take me to, you're going to take advantage of me and, besmirch my name. I'm going to get my day in the sun. I'm going to tell my side of the story, and I'm going to have it live streamed. I'm going to have cameras in the court. This is how it's going to go. So that's what happened. And so
like, you already embarrassed me and raked me through the coals. You know, like, now it's your turn to show your ass.
Hear me for the first time.
Let's see what you've done. Yeah, I get it.
Or see me speak out. Yeah. And I will say, as an actor, I can tell these certain things. And he's a good actor. He's very good in real life, like a very good actor. Obviously, he's been around a long time. He's been doing it a long time. I've seen his testimony like day after day after day. It's like 4 days of testimony. And from the moment he got on the stand to the moment he left, there was never a moment where I felt he was being actory, like he was making something up as an actor. Like he was playing a role. It felt like he was playing himself, like he was being the best version of himself that he can be in court. And he's
isn't that what all of us would do in court? We're all going to be like the best that we can at who we are in court,
That's how you're supposed to be. But I'm saying there was never a moment where I was like, wait, he's reaching here. He's like, misrepresenting this. And I know the evidence, so I can know when he never deflects. So the thing about him is that I can say is good about his testimonies, that he never says, oh, well, she was drinking at this time and I was, she actually hit me at this time or whatever. Like, he uses the audio when she says she hit him, or when he talks about throwing pots and pans. He uses that when it's necessary, but he doesn't go in depth and say she was the one beating me. He never says that.
Well, it's weird. It's got to be so weird to have all these records of you fighting.
Yes.
Like,
well, that was also for his.
Like, how weird is that? Like, it still doesn't look good for her, even though there's all these records of them. Like, she's setting him up to be in this argument. She is manipulating it. She knows it's being recorded. Like, is she the one who recorded everything, or did he record some of it?
Not everything. So some of it was him, some of it was her. And
okay, well, when you're going tit for tat constantly and you're recording, you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of like you're manipulating all of it. It's all manipulated. Like, if I want to pick a fight with Steve and I want to record it, of course I can make it look a certain way. You know, like it's ridiculous. Like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like I watched a little bit of it, of like the live stuff, and I'm like, I feel like I'm watching somebody else's personal freaking thing, and like I don't feel comfortable. Like you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
And
it's weird.
People wouldn't. But some people can disassociate themselves from this human being.
Ew, don't drink
and see them as just a celebrity and just, eat popcorn and enjoy it. But that's not what a lot of the people I'm looking at are doing. And I look at like lawyers reacting to it and stuff, and like get the lowdown on how they're viewing it. But like she set him up in so many instances, and he acts pretty much the same in his tapes. You can tell that she's the one with the issue. No offense. But like, she changes in her tapes with him. Her behavior changes. His behavior doesn't really change. He's always the same in the tapes. He's very consistent. He's very consistent in his testimony, and he's believable because the evidence is supporting him. So when she gets on the stand, she's going to get on the stand pretty soon. Elon Musk is not testifying. He's involved, but he's not testifying. And she's supposed to come on and tell all these horrific tales of what happened with him. And I don't even know if we're going to get the sexual assault aspect of it, because we didn't get that in the UK trial that she was alleging, which I thought was unfair, that we didn't get to know what her actual statements were.
I don't know anything about that trial.
Read what she alleged. And so even if it's a lie, like I want to see for myself how it doesn't correlate with the other stories and stuff. But hopefully we'll see how good an actor she is, because maybe she'll turn on the waterworks this time and actually produce some tears, which she hasn't yet in court. She's been faking it a lot.
I have a question.
So, yeah. What's up?
I have a question. Does Johnny Depp always talk like Hunter S. Thompson, like off camera and stuff?
No, this is what I was getting to. Thanks for bringing me back to that. So there's been a lot of memes or whatever, or discussion about the way he speaks in court. You can hear in the tapes itself that he talks like a normal fucking person in his speech. So in court, he is clearly deliberately trying to get the right thing said at the right time. He's trying to be careful in court, not to
super careful.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like your most intimate details of your life. You know what I mean? Like if you say that, it's public, it's out there. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of pressure to put on a person.
Yeah, you kind of want to say the right thing.
That's why he's different in court than he is in real life. That's why I could see that he was not manufacturing things from the content that I was, getting from him in court. And she, on the other hand, has had instances where she's looking at the camera and she's all trying to tear up, but not really getting there. And then in the next time it comes back to her, she's like, oh shit, because she's like laughing and smiling at her lawyer. And then like, oh shit, I got to turn on the fake tears again that don't exist. But, I got a fake cry. So
I mean, I'm sure some of it probably is emotional for her, though. I mean, can you imagine sitting there and like you're hearing like your whole life, you're hearing your whole life like before you and everything that's gone on. I mean, you would think that even being, narcissistic or whatever it is, you're still gonna feel. You still have feelings. I don't think that she's void of every feeling. I mean, it's got to be a lot for her too.
Differently than we do, so that's different for her. The kind of person the personality that she has is different than most people, so she processes things differently. So there's a lot of good testimony. If you guys want to hear, Dr. Shannon Curry talked all about the borderline personality disorder and what to look out for. So there's a lot of good information in the case as well, if you're trying to figure out what this condition consists of, from an actual professional. Then I would recommend listening to that portion and taking notes if you know anyone who's in that situation, because this is just one person. So we don't want to put everyone in the same category.
That's exactly.
We don't want to stigmatize. We don't do that. But there are a lot of violent women with this disorder, apparently. So. More so than men, is what she said in court.
Kate is asking a question about the Amber and Depp thing. I don't know.
No.
Has anyone heard?
The next date is tomorrow that we're back in court too. I don't know who's. I think we have a remote witness, but I don't know who it is. I'm involved now. I'm like, who are we seeing tomorrow?
I know. I'm like, wow.
At least we get a 3-day weekend, because Friday's homework day. That's when the lawyers go do.
That's
do
cool.
Their
you think you could show up with some files and a notebook or whatever and be like, I'm your volunteer paralegal for today. I just need to see what's going on here.
No, but there was a situation where the girlfriend or alleged girlfriend of Amber Heard, now I should say she goes both ways there. Okay. So she came to court and pretended to be a part of the legal counsel. And there's a fucking hearing that I read the transcript of from Nick Wallace. Shout out to him. He's awesome.
Nice.
Wait, she tried to have her girlfriend in court, like.
Who was live tweeting and got court ordered to leave and never come back because Johnny Depp's attorneys noticed it and were like, this is not cool.
What the hell is that? Oz wanted to remind us that a recap: the cluster B personality disorders are characterized by a lack of empathy / compassion. So that's what he was saying that she has. Yikes.
Well, she sounds like kind of a firecracker, and maybe she does have some big feels because, maybe they just come on really suddenly. Sometimes she's laughing, sometimes she's crying. I've met.
We are not psychologists. We're not here to analyze the
emotions.
Amber
Heard. Feels are strange, they feel funny, make you feel funny, make you feel happy, make you feel sad. They can make you feel all kind of ways. Doesn't have to be bad, but sometimes, oi. And if we can ever get past the turd portion of the trial,
let me share in the chat for you guys the link to the transcripts for the case. Damn, we got a lot going on in the chat. I love it.
Yeah.
Love that we have so many people.
Bowler hats are groovy.
Jilly said
groovy.
Jilly said their marriage was a real shit show.
It really was. Those were not dogs that did that.
Literally and figuratively.
And
even
Rob was saying
her, it was one of her friends, which is weird too.
Rob said I'm laughing way too hard to finger type.
Wobbly Boo said, "Be right back. Got to drop the Obamas off at the pool."
Oh,
whoa!
Y'all will get a kick out of that transcript that I just sent you in the chat. Check it out and see how that whole thing went down. It's the whole hearing about E. Barlow, this fake journalist who was pretending to be the girlfriend, who was alleged to be the girlfriend of Amber Heard, who got into court and then got kicked out of court for live tweeting. And she's still tweeting now. She's tweeting all the time in support of Heard.
Amazing. It's like her own private bot.
Y'all can't just sneak into court. That's not how court works. And you can't violate the court rules either.
No, it sounded like a bad TV show, It's just like, I'm just gonna go show up there with my fucking
just sit
iPad.
in the back. Nobody will see me.
Just sit in the back. Nobody will notice. I'll act like I'm typing. Nobody will pay attention. That's fantastic.
There's also really good transcripts of everything that's happened there. It's all from you. If you want to learn about the UK trial, the transcripts are in there. The witness statements are in there. Everything is on that website. So.
Little's like it's a bunch of marmots with old-timey hats and blue wrenches dancing around. It's like furry clockwork orange up in here.
Oh,
bit of a pain in
that
the
movie was so traumatizing.
Oh yes.
I saw it with other people, with roommates, and it was just too much.
It's a lot.
I'll never watch it again.
Oh, it's such a good movie. It's so twisted. It's so
Wait, what movie?
Just the ultra violence and the rape scenes and shit are just too much. A Clockwork Orange.
Excess.
Yeah. Classic. Bit of a pain in the dilemma.
I'll stick with Barry Lyndon. Thank you very much. I'll go with Barry Lyndon.
Barry Lyndon's cool. That's all right.
Or The Killing. The Killing is perfect for me. Just the perfect amount.
Yes.
Intrigue.
Just the right amount.
That sounds like it's worse than it. It sounds like it's about something really, really bad, like a murder or whatever. But it's just a racetrack heist film.
Yeah. Which can be fun sometimes if you do it right. Damn the Don Coppers. I can't wait for that to come out. Who's that guy who makes all the Star Trek movies now? Yes.
My mother has a problem. No, my brother has a problem with him. J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams.
On J.J. Abrams.
He does
night.
the
I was
like.
damn.
He does like the redo of the redo type of thing. Very lame. I'm sorry.
Well, he was saying he's never made anything good in his life that lasted a long time or something. Like, he
Yeah,
was really
no,
upset.
because
I'm like, so you watch Felicity?
movies-
Sorry.
all the movies suck really bad. That's although I thought the first Star Trek one I thought it was cool. I liked how
Yeah,
it
we were
went.
talking about Star Trek because I was like, the only thing I remember is the Wrath of Khan, and I don't think I saw the first one. I think I saw that one.
Well, there's a whole bunch of different
She's
different
like, that's
ones.
the best one. I'm like, okay, well then I don't have to watch it anymore.
Wrath of Khan is the best one. Has the longest long distance shot of the fucking Enterprise ever. It's like 15 minutes.
I did
of
see
fucking-
First Contact though. I saw that.
Oh
it came
man,
out.
First Contact is okay. Sure. Fucking lens flares, Shelly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I said I don't really love his lens flares. My brother was just going off on him. I was like, yeah, the lens flares are kind of annoying, but I never really thought
Safe
of
travels,
it like that.
Vicky Adams.
All right.
We should get to the Mayday shit. I don't know why.
Yeah. What do we want to what do we want to go into next?
So Mayday,
Well-
it's Mayday. Hey Mayday.
Oh, Mayday. Yes.
That might be my favorite highlighted quote ever. Just, of the night. Not that all the rest of you guys aren't fucking funny as shit too, but that's a good one. A bunch of marmots with old timey hats and blue wretches dancing around.
Yeah, like it makes me want to like make it like an art piece or something.
Yeah. It's kind of it shows the freak flag colors. Something is showing. Happy
I
month,
can't hear you very well.
everybody. Can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
He wasn't talking towards the mic.
I wasn't talking close enough to the microphone, apparently.
It's okay.
Oh, so Mayday. What do you want to talk about with Mayday? Is there any links you need me to bring up or anything?
Mayday.
Well, you were looking at that link or that tweet, or you sent out that tweet about all these events and stuff, these general strikes that were happening.
Oh,
From
yeah,
this
yeah.
Liz person. We got to talk about this Liz person.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard of them. Sorry.
Yeah,
They've never heard of me. It's fine.
I think it was in our
And
Twitter.
we like it that way.
It was in our group chat, right?
All about me. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Yes, there it is.
Your favorite book is Ram Dass Be Here Now. That's a good one. Ram Dass is a dude.
All right, let me share this so I can show you guys. Shared my screen.
We're going to look at something now. We've almost gone an hour and a half without looking at something on YouTube because fuck YouTube.
Fuck them and their stupid rules.
Is it showing up?
There we go.
There. Yeah.
All of these things are happening. Sorry.
So they have like I was tagged and asked to like share this, and I'm like, all right, let's it's Mayday.
I like the smell of it.
Hey.
Has a lot of good stuff.
How do I
going
make
on there.
that go away?
Right there, yeah.
Boom.
You see it? Okay. So workers of the world unite, general strike revolution, May 1st, 2020. And it's hashtag Medicare for all, hashtag UBI, hashtag GND, in
Trigger
student
words.
debt,
Oh, I know
Make
what
it
it is.
stop.
high. Okay. You want me to read it? Free higher education, free public transit, end the wars, end cash bail, reparations, federal jobs guarantee, legalize marijuana federally, 28-hour work week, cut the military spending by 85% and 25 per hour minimum wage.
Wait. What?
It's
Those
all
are-
the
there's
things
a
that
lot
we
of-
love to have happen.
There's a lot of things that sound really good, and there's a lot of things
So
that
good.
sound like psyop,
Yep.
false flag,
Activism.
So what do you
hamsters
guys think
or
about this
something.
list? You know what I mean? Does
It's
it
kinda
sound
weird.
good to you, or what does it sound like to you?
I like the imagery. Can I just can I constructive criticism on the graphic and
Oh
layout?
dear.
The layout is nicely done. I'm not a fan of that font they used there for the May 1st, but hey,
But it
I'm not
stands
gonna.
out.
It does.
The date stands out.
It does. It stands out, and the rest of it above there with the embossed looking, like no, that's all. You can't see that, but the other stuff, yeah.
I'm gonna say no to the UBI for obvious reasons. And G&D, which is Green New Deal, I guess. Fuck
Yeah.
that. No, thank
Hello.
you. To those.
No.
You can take those.
And the wars sounds good. I mean, we could do it. We could do a
28-hour
poll.
work week is never going to happen, but because there are jobs that have to have more than that are like essential.
Yeah, it's
in an
I think we could
normal
have a
universe.
like really unnecessarily democratic poll to see who thinks this is this is dumb or whatever. It seems like that's the endless thing that people like to do is like, well, if you had your choice from this and this and this,
Yeah.
would you? And then you're like, well, none of those things are
like
even
Miss
fucking
America.
happening or possible, but let's leave that out of the equation. Okay, everybody just get on board with this idea. We're gonna Green New Deal it.
I have danced a maypole in real life, Jilly. Actually,
Boom.
Oh dear. That reminds me of that
Boom, got
horrific
'em.
film
That makes me
Midsummer.
feel
Ugh.
like
Skyla did it with me when she was little. We actually made the maypole and we raised a maypole and we made crowns out of grapevines with
Did you
flowers and everything. Like we did the whole traditional like May Day.
did you sing I feel pretty? So
I
They
don't
ruined
think
Maypole.
no.
I didn't
I
think we
would've-
really
I
did
would
that.
have done that. I would have sang.
No, I mean no. Midsummer,
Sound
the
of
movie
Music.
Midsummer ruined Maypole.
And I also did it at a Renaissance fair too. Before I've done Skyla has done that. I was at the Ren Fair.
I got a
when they
real
did it.
Julie Andrews vibe from that. I like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So
I
the
know it's kind of Nazi, but hey,
G&D is Green New Deal.
judge me if you
I
must.
know. I had to take a second too, Shelley. What the hell? I never seen it.
It took me a second too. I'm like, I don't know. Like I get like not wanting to type it out, but
Letters, man.
I don't
They're
get that because
trying
they
to
typed out free higher education and legalized marijuana federally. I don't get it.
That's
Sorry.
part of the problem I had with it too.
Oz Whistle said UBI can only work when it's both universal and unconditional.
Yeah,
And that's the thing.
unconditional.
Yes.
Even if
There are
it was
conditions.
only unconditional, Oz, I argue that it would still work. If it was just unconditional money that just showed up in the mailbox every fucking month or on your card and you didn't think about it and you didn't have to be obligated to do anything other than stay alive.
But they would never do
receive
that.
your
That
payment.
doesn't benefit them.
Well, I mean, it's not really that great of a benefit. It's just a thing. I'm just saying potentially it has the potential to be beneficial, at least on some basic fucking level. If you know what I mean? That's to say everybody still gets all the other things that they were getting at the same time. And that doesn't change fundamentally by getting the UBI in place. You know what I mean? Like just, I don't know. It's contingent.
I mean, it works.
There's
It works.
so many different things that
It
that
could
make
work.
sucky. And
It
stupid.
could work like Social Security where you get it and it can't be cut and all this and that.
Yeah.
Like
Well, we
in
know how
theory, we like it. It's not that we don't want people to have a universal income.
Right.
It's the details of how you get that,
It's
how
the
you get a
obligation.
Green New Deal, because the Green New Deal is its own entity itself. It's not just like going, working towards things in a green way.
That's part of
You know what I mean?
SDGs,
And Medicare
though.
for all. It's not that we're against healthcare for everybody. It's the details. The devil is in those
Putting
details.
SDGs in there. Sustainable development goals are going to be included in the Green New Deal. Like the UBI is from people who are putting you in a place where you can't make the wealth that you made before because they fucked over your entire class. So they fucked you over. They made you lock down your business for however long, and now they're like, "Hey, here's some money to get you back on your feet," even though we threw you off onto your feet.
Even though you were on your feet before, perfectly fine, and we're gonna give your landlord some money, and you can fuck off. We'll see you later.
Yeah, childcare
Here's
is not
$1,000.
included, Trish. That's right. Childcare is not included in that.
Disabled
thing.
people, nope, we don't care.
That's the thing right there. Like, if that UBI isn't, if there are no contingencies on that money, of course everybody's gonna be like, yeah, give me the fucking money because we need fucking money, right? Like, nobody is gonna just say, don't give me that $1,000. Maybe some fucking schmuck who makes $80,000 a month is gonna be like, I don't need your fucking money. I don't give a fuck. But besides that, if you're not in that tax bracket, you know what I mean? If you're a poor person, like the majority of people.
Yeah, like what about housing? There's nothing in there about housing.
There's nothing. It's just
right. I don't
dream fantasy at this point.
And then nothing about people with disabilities. What about the fact that like Social Security is like severely inadequate, and Biden is still like, yeah, he has tried to cut Social Security for years, and he'll continue it.
They'll take that.
Let's go down into the thread, maybe. Yeah.
Scroll on.
There we go.
Our friend
James Manor. He should be in here. I think he might be in here right now. Are you in here, James?
Jimmy Young.
Shout out. Yeah, so he's saying, do we need to be fully vaccinated to get any of this? And we don't need to talk about the efficacy of any of that. Like, we can't discuss that particular part of it.
It's just the questions.
And we're talking about the contingencies of it.
That's right.
Correct.
That's right.
And she said she said not these things, but with 11.6 billion Vs given, I don't know why anyone wouldn't. It's safe, whereas C can kill / debilitate. And that seems to be
because I quoted it on there too.
Nice. Oh, love it. And Ricky Rance gave a little like, oh no. All right.
So yeah.
I said somewhere on.
I know. I have to go. Yet. No, I don't see your thing on here.
It was back.
Maybe it was the previous thing that Jim tweeted.
Yeah, that's probably.
Oh no, I'm just here.
The quote tweet, sorry. Yeah, just go to quote tweet.
I can't leave Steve out. No.
Yeah, it's one quote.
Oh, that isn't it.
Oh, that wasn't it, Steve.
No, it wasn't me.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Telling me it is when I'm looking right at it.
Oh well.
I don't. But yeah, I shared that, and then Jim pointed out. Oh, maybe it was in our group chat. That we need to be careful right here. Who?
Oh, that would be the quote tweet. I'm stupid.
Yeah,
that's the quote tweet.
He tweeted that. But this isn't mine. This is Steve.
Yeah, click on quote tweet. That's it. That's his post.
Where?
Quote tweet. One
right
quote
there.
tweet. That should be it.
Well, James did. He said we need to be really careful on who is actually leading these movements, and then he tagged a bunch of us. So, yeah. Oh, maybe it's the comment. Yeah. Maybe we finally find your thing, Steve.
It's possible.
No. You're not.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Steve.
Fuck you, Twitter. You bastards.
Oh, and we're going to follow DIYliberty.org. Everybody should follow this. This is James Mana does this. DIYliberty.org. Right here.
And me right below. I'm
Well,
relevant.
yeah. And
Jimmy,
Elle
Miss
Latham.
Elle Latham.
So
So yeah, it's a Mayday idea. A great idea.
it is. It's just a matter of what, you know what I mean? What is gonna what's gonna hold it up? How are they going to use it? You know, sadly, it's like they'll give welfare, you know, they say it's welfare to us, even though, you know, the people, you know, how is it logical to anybody? How do they even get it in their head where they can say you can't have a wage that you can not only live off of, that you can thrive off of? So you can't provide what you need for your family. You also have to pay off debt. You also have to be like, you have to do the impossible somehow to barely survive. Like, it is insane. How does anybody even wrap their head around that and logically even say that as another human being?
Yep.
And Jilly said, yeah, they will never give us anything that will empower us. We might rise up. The job is to keep us sick, uneducated. Oh, nothing. Eat bugs. Oh, Jilly, you are right on my trail.
Yeah.
You are right on my trail. Because Jilly doesn't know what we're, you know. Let me stop that screen share and let me pull up the other thing that I sent to Steve.
Are we getting to the Schwab Foundation? Because that would be a part of the SDGs, I'm sure, and the Green New Deal and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got that up to our story.
Yeah. Where is the thing that okay.
Thank you for liking me in the chat. I don't really know how I became stupid. Did I say I was stupid at some point? I don't remember saying it, but I say it in my head all the time. Oh no, I don't think you're stupid, Elle, said Rob Juno. And I'm like, oh good, okay. I don't remember calling myself stupid. Not today anyway.
I think there needs to be like some kind of variable where the interest rate and the like there's an interest rate when it comes to what the minimum really, it's really the maximum wage that they'll pay, and you know, because when you go to a job, it's not like, oh yeah, here's the minimum wage. Yeah, like no, that's, I mean, you can look at it that way. You can also look at it as it's the maximum that they're willing to pay you for what that job is. But oh my god, I totally lost my thought. Like, wait a minute, where was I?
Maximum.
I was talking about the wage. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying.
The maximum wage.
Yeah.
Interest rate. I'm listening.
I don't even know where I went with my brain just totally like went bloop. Chemtrails. Yeah, chemtrails. That's what it is. It's not called a brain fart anymore. It's chemtrails.
Or the birds. It's the birds that are spying on us. They're not real, and they're spying, and they're getting.
Oh, Ricky Rance did a stream today too. He did. It wasn't a long stream, but he was out there showing for Mayday what was happening.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
I saw that on his Twitter feed. Timeline, whatever they call it. I forgot. Rob Juno, thank you for joining us. Please stay tuned for the Rumble later if you watch the replay, because that's when we're going to get into it about Assange and everything, which you just mentioned. So check that out later.
Oh. Rob said he finds your voice very calming even when you're not feeling calm. So thank you a lot, you know. Oh,
that's so sweet. Whoever
And he
you're
said,
talking
yes,
to.
you said you were stupid, is what he said.
I will say that from time to time. I don't even catch it. I'm so masochistic, it just comes out.
Well, that's what we catch it. That's what we catch it with each other, and we call that out for each other too. You know, like that. They're calling each other out universally is important, not just for things that
Mhm.
can go sideways. Steve, what are you doing?
Making a pineapple.
He just randomly gets up and starts cutting a fresh pineapple, like middle of the stream.
Hungry?
Literally, he just gets up and is like, "I'm cutting a freaking pineapple." They
Well,
are
we'll
good.
see, but-
Well, I know. I'm just like, I'm hearing him like over there, like making noise, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Schwab?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I was getting at something, and I don't know where it went. Okay, so I don't know if I should bring in the first one or the second one first. Let's just go here. Whoops. I
could do an intro. You've heard of the World Economic Forum. We've talked about it ad nauseum. And Klaus Schwab. Well, Klaus Schwab has another organization called the Schwab Foundation, which he started with Hilda, his wife, way back in the day. And they're up to no good. And now it's a family affair, and they have their daughter in charge of some stuff there.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. If I want, I have two things that I'm just trying to figure out which one is probably better to bring up first. So maybe this is the same one.
Should we do our story first so we have the background? The Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship.
Oh, well, yeah. And I have this right here too.
That's the name of it. The full name. I won't, Jelly. Sorry.
So this is something that Steve came across.
Oh, I know that name from somewhere. That journalist. Can't remember.
So this right here is Nicole Schwab, the daughter of the World Economic founder, Klaus Schwab, and current WEF co-director to the platform to accelerate nature-based solutions, wants governments to take advantage of COVID infrastructure and policies to fight climate change.
Mm-hmm. And she has 2 pages on the WEF website. She's so special.
Yeah.
One with
she's got some stuff happening.
C.
So clearly, the system is not sustainable, began Nicole Schwab, speaking in an intent roundtable. See how I see it as a tremendous opportunity to have the great reset and use the huge flows of money to use the increased levers that policymakers have today in a way that have not been possible before. Actually, I think that there is. Oh, look at that. Oh, do you see this beautiful clip? We're going to watch this clip right here.
This crisis has shown us that, first of all, things can shift very rapidly when we put our minds to it and when we feel the immediate emergency to our livelihoods. And second, that clearly the system, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, that we had before is not sustainable. So I see it as a tremendous opportunity to really to have this great reset and to use this huge flows, of money, to use the increased levers that policymakers have today in a way that was not possible before, to create a change that is not incremental, but that we can look back and we can say this is the moment where we really started to position, nature at the core of the economy, taking the point of view of business and the economy and looking at where are there opportunities to create jobs and regenerate nature? And there are plenty of opportunities. And this is, again, a mindset of actually innovation, technology, and a business growth can happen with a positive impact of nature, and kind of laying out some of these examples. And regenerative agriculture is, of course, a huge part of that as well. And one of the key reflection points here is also around engaging youth. And for me, it's, again, I come back to this shift in mindset of the restoration generation. Can we conceive of ourselves as humans? I mean, you talked about a new humanity. I think you mentioned it, right? Can we conceive of ourselves as a restoration generation? I think that's where we need to go. I'm also hopeful that it's possible, but I think it will take a lot of will, both political will, but also in terms of the business actors, to break with business as usual, but in a very serious way, and to say we need to make very difficult choices. There are trade-offs, but this is our chance. And this is about risk, and it's about resilience, because the shocks are going to be even worse if we don't do it now.
She's way easier to understand than her father.
Yes, I agree with that. She definitely is. It's much easier to understand her than her dad.
The way I understood what she said was, can we conceive of ourselves as humans? And I thought for a second, you guys are not human, are you? Like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? You're gonna...
They think they're better than humans.
They're slightly more evolved than the average human, right? If you can you picture yourself being a human, calling yourself the restoration generation?
Mm-hmm.
And here we go.
She's awful.
This is at the United Nations, and this is on a website to do like a podcast. I'll put the link in the thing for you guys, but here's the other. The UN wants to ban more than one bite of meat a day.
Good thing I got off the meat, y'all.
All right, I'm going to play this down and mute us.
Acting Deputy President. The United Nations Food Systems pre-summit last week in Rome recommended a dietary limit of 14 grams of red meat per person per day. That's one bite. As a servant to the people of Queensland and Australia, I'm appalled, and I'll explain how this is an attack on our farmers and on every Australian. The pre-summit recommended the introduction of a worldwide environmental tax on meat of $1.60 per kilo for cattle grazing on pasture, yet not for cattle raised in intensive feedlots. That distinction reflects the influence of large multinational feedlot operators and the lack of influence that family farms have in the UN's eyes. As my colleague, Bob Catter, rightly pointed out, this UN measure will take 2.4 billion kilos of protein off the market, starving 80 million people of protein. Yes, go the UN. The third recommendation of the Food Systems Pre-Summit is to move food production within reach of population centres and produce whatever protein and nutrition is possible in that region. It's called short-chain food supply. We did that 200 years ago. People starved, nutrition was poor, life expectancy was less than half what we enjoy today. Then along came long-chain food supply, allowing countries like Australia to grow crops to feed and clothe those in need. World hunger fell to less than 10%. The only reason there are still areas of poverty and hunger in 2021 is because of war and civil unrest. You know, the things that the United Nations were supposed to solve. World peace has eluded the UN, yet cows have not. The United Nations is proposing to eliminate global food chains that have brought good food to the world for hundreds of years. I've recently spoken about the false water shortage brought to you. Thank the UN's directive to not build new dams. This is the start of a false food shortage. The motivation is to eliminate broadacre agriculture, eliminate food exports, and return all that land to nature. Rural voters will be annoyed to hear that the Morrison government bankrolled this attack on our farming community with a $64 million donation. The Liberal National Government is funding our own demise, the betrayal and demise of our farmers, of our country. Australian farms employ 326,000 people directly. They contribute $75 billion to the economy and $60 billion to our exports. Without the bush, we'd be stuffed, broke and hungry. These 3 United Nations proposals will destroy rural Australia, wipe out family farms, crash real estate prices, and further hollow out country towns for no benefit to us. There's no better source of protein than red meat, yet our supermarkets now stock protein and fake food products made from crickets. Why? Because billionaires can't make enough profit out of cattle. It's a variable industry with good times and bad. Billionaires can, though, make money on intensive cultivation of bugs for protein. This breaks the reliance on nature's weather and allows scheduled production of a food-like substance with great profit margins and low fulfillment costs. This satisfies the UN dictate for short chain supply. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization is literally directing the replacement of red meat with bug protein. Skeptics can even attend one of the regular UN bug tastings where journalists are encouraged to extol the virtues of bug cuisine. The CSIRO has fallen in line behind the UN, publishing a 64-page love letter on the delights of eating bugs entitled Edible Insects, a Roadmap. Looking through the glossy pages, we see the CSIRO advocates our future should include insect milkshakes, bug ice cream, and granola bars made from dried cockroaches. I'm not making any of this up. It's real. This is happening, and we taxpayers are paying for it thanks to the Morrison-Joyce government. For those who think they're eating an environmentally friendly product, think again. A fake hamburger patty using plant or bug protein contains 20 chemicals found in pet food. That's all the UN and their quislings in our federal government think the public deserve, pet food. How does it make sense to grow good food and instead of eating that food, we feed it to crickets and then we eat the crickets? Fellow Australians, there is no protein shortage. There will be, though, if the UN succeeds in wiping out red meat production so they can hand the protein industry over to their big business corporate partners. One Nation rejects this attack on our farming community. We reject state and federal parliaments around our country continuing to demonise and isolate farmers. We will continue to oppose the UN dictating to federal and state governments. One Nation will continue to oppose ideology over humanity. We will continue to stand up for a fair society based on a citizen's right to exercise free choice about diet, health, and business. We have one flag, we are one community, we are one sovereign nation. It's time to withdraw from the United Nations. Acting Deputy President. The United Nations...
So yeah, plant burgers or whatever, like baked burgers, aren't very healthy for you. But he didn't explain why. And he just brought it up and then didn't say why and then ruined it.
Also, he said that it was going to break down the short chain food supply, the long chain food supply. So they'd be forced to have a short chain. Now, that just means that the things that people will eat in a given area are fresher and farmed closer to their houses. So, like, what?
Like some of what he said was
some of what he said was okay, and half of the rest.
Which
of it
is
was
how
just
you get
like
people to share it.
convoluted as fuck. Yeah,
but you have to have a partisan stance, I guess. You know. To get
because obviously he's on the red team, right? Because meat, I don't know, how does that work? I don't know how these teams work very good. I was never very good at sports ball.
He's against something, and that's important. That you know that he's against something.
That's right.
I don't know what he's for, but he's definitely against.
He's definitely against something. It doesn't matter what he's for. He's drawn a line.
Like, there's a way to make this argument that would kill the argument, like, on the other side. Like, there's more water produced to make, you know, all this stuff. Almonds. Like, you could just be like, people drinking almond milk are full of shit because that hurts the environment too. You can just go on and on and on. Like, you can go
there's so many examples.
And then he goes nowhere.
There's so many examples.
He goes to pet food? What?
Yeah, he brought it to pet food chemicals.
Really, dude? All right.
But like that meat and all that, everything that's produced on this grand scale, these giant mechanized farms in Australia, is all full of chemicals, just like it is in America. It's just different chemicals. Like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? You wouldn't you want like farm to table wherever you lived, like to be fresh food? Like, I mean, it just even if all you ate was fucking hamburgers, if it was fucking fresh hamburgers, you know what I mean? Like it's just a better quality thing. These
And
people
also,
are
like, impossible meat is literally GMO. Like, it's like not good for you. It's
right.
like you could kill that immediately. Just
It's modified to
fuck that.
fuck. Yeah.
Why didn't he bring up Bill Gates? That's such an easy one. Like,
Yeah.
Bill Gates funded these companies. I'm done.
Yeah.
Bye.
And
UN,
certain governments
Bill
have bought
Gates,
in,
done.
right? Certain governments have bought in and stuff, and like fucking.
Yep.
That's crazy to me. Like that. His argument was so full of holes and so like half bluster. It just wasn't nothing there. You know, nothing there. No follow through on the things that he's pointing out that are bad about beef or good about beef or whatever. Like the argument was just like misconstrued. Like by the end of it, you're like, what? It's because there's chemicals like dog food. Damn, we're eating bugs. What's going on? I don't like
We're not
this.
in Asia or wherever he thinks people eat bugs, you know.
Right?
We're better
This
than
ain't-
that, right?
This
You
ain't
know?
Thailand. What the hell, man?
Right?
I ain't eating giant cockroaches. I don't care if
We
they
got
taste
meat.
like
We got cows here. We got pigs
those
here.
cockroaches don't
We eat
taste
pig
like
ass
portobellos, man.
Give me a slice of pig ass any day over that horrible cricket. Ugh,
Ugh,
Ew.
nasty.
how untoward.
That's what y'all, not y'all. That's what the
Oh my God,
Americans,
no,
Canadians-
put that on me.
that's
I don't
what
eat that.
Canadians eat. The Canadians and the Americans like their ham, and they like their bacon.
You know, bacon, you know, people can sing the praises of bacon, and that's fine. I'm just saying, you know, you haven't lived until you've had a giant cockroach a la mode,
No,
you know, for
no to
breakfast.
both.
I don't know. I
No
think
to
you
all
have
of
to flambe them just right to get that crunchy texture. How are you supposed to get your pudding if you don't eat your bugs? That's a good point. Go on, do what you can.
Okay. I have the other thing pulled up.
Is it the foundation or just something else?
Stand still,
Yeah,
laddie.
it's the foundation.
Ricky Rams.
Okay,
We won't make you eat.
So-
eat
we're
bugs,
still on
Ricky.
YouTube because we're doing something different later. Like, if you were wondering why we're still on YouTube, it's
Yeah.
because this is going to be on YouTube.
We're easing into
I
it.
would say.
Yeah. So after I was like, wow, I don't really hear about Klaus Schwab's wife or
Get it,
his
baby.
daughter.
Mhm.
Like you don't hear about the family. You don't hear about the rest of the apples. So I came across the Schwab Foundation. And this is about what they do here.
Oh.
So, together with my husband, Klaus Schwab, the executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, I decided to create a separate foundation in 98. So in 98, like this has been around for all this time. I didn't realize this was a completely like, you know what I mean? That
You didn't know,
how far out the branches go for these guys.
you didn't
like
know Hildy had such a nice website?
I didn't know.
Come on, man. Read on.
For decades, the World Economic Forum had engaged the leaders of civil society organizations at the annual meeting in where Davos.
Oh.
All in and in all activities throughout the year. However, we observed the emergence of a new model of social change, a model that combines the mission, dedication, and compassion to serve the most vulnerable and marginalized populations of society with business principles and the best techniques from the private sector. That model, of course, is social entrepreneurship. What is
social entrepreneurship, man.
So we saw the urgent need to identify, highlight, and give a platform to these organizations, thus including social entrepreneurs in the meeting in the meetings, discussion platforms, and research projects of the World Economic Forum, as well as developing a community of social entrepreneurs. In addition, we wanted to develop a community of interaction and experience exchange and provide social entrepreneurship with higher visibility on the global scene. So, for 20 years now, the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship has supported the world's leading social entrepreneurs in the effort to create a more just, equitable, and sustainable world. And I'm proud that over 400 social entrepreneurs, how much times do they have to fucking say that?
400.
Oh my God. Along with
400 times.
social
Entrepreneurs.
intrapreneurs,
Intrapreneur.
right?
What the
Right.
fuck is an entrepreneur?
I don't
never
know,
heard of
man.
that.
They're inventing shit. Okay.
Yes.
That's what the IN stands for. Invent. Invent some ways to make money. I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay. Along with
know.
social intrapreneurs in public and private sectors.
Entrepreneurs. Oh, sounds like a fucking sitcom. I love it.
Like we trapped them into being the entrepreneurs. Oh my God.
Two romance.
They make shit up so that they can be like, okay, when we're gonna search the internet and find out who said entrepreneurs, we're gonna know that they were talking to us.
Yes, I think that's right.
In public and private sectors and through communities. I can't even freaking and through leaders continue to engage in our activities. Steve.
Sorry. It's funny.
See, no, stop, because I won't be able to read. My brain won't work.
Okay. I won't.
My dyslexia is going to get bad. Shut up. I have always maintained that social innovators are my role models. Yeah. They work in challenge. Steve. I'm reading something. Hang on. They work in a challenging, even adverse environment. They persist despite setbacks and frustrations, and collectively they have transformed the lives of hundreds of millions of people around the world. Providing education, opportunity, livelihoods, and dignity is one of the greatest joys of my life. To accelerate and amplify the work of social innovators in the Schwab Foundation's global community and support social entrepreneurship and social innovation in general. Hildy Schwab. Howdy.
Hilda Schwab.
All right, Steve, what did you have to say? What did you have to say, Steve, so I can play the video?
All I wanted to say was if they're entrapping people to be knowers, then do they need more than 400?
Oh my God.
I'd like to sign up to be an intrapreneur. Are you with me, Ricky? Come on. Let's be intrapreneurs.
Come on, man.
Come on, Popeye. We get rich being intrapreneurs, and then we'll hire your son's drumline to play outside the governor's house and piss him off at midnight or something. I don't know. Some kind of direct action.
Wes said, "Oh boy, I can hear the howling of the carnivores wailing in protest already." Yes, I know. They're like, "You only get one bite of meat a day."
I like that. Fucking entropy deniers. Yes, that's it.
Oh, let's see what Kate said.
Thousands of people.
This is what I see. Regenerative agriculture is being practiced in small plots using neglected urban and rural spaces and backyards. Schwab are seeing that people are doing this cashless. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They are.
Who thinks the Lone Star deer tick was engineered? One bite and you don't want meat anymore.
Wow.
Huh.
I had Lyme disease twice, so maybe one of them was one of them Lone Star dicks.
Yeah, but do you actually we can't get into Lyme disease while we're on here because that's a whole other thing. I have Lyme disease. I've had it since 96 when I got the very traditional bullseye rash when I lived in East Lyme, Connecticut. Imagine that.
I lived
we can see Plum Island from the shore in Connecticut, we can look at Plum Island.
I lived in the woods of Attawalgan.
I mean, that's probably enough said right there. But yeah, their ticks, like ticks are, it is insane. Oh my God. It's
Attawalgan sounds like it's in Wisconsin or something, or Minnesota. Doesn't it? I don't know. I always thought it did.
Sirius said, I'm
Fine.
eating for eating less meat, and 40% reduction would be good.
All right.
I think we need, if people are going to eat meat, then it needs to be done in a way where, it's humane, and don't spray the meat full of chemicals, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're just going to do that with the bugs. What do you think the bugs are going to have on them now? You know what I
How
mean?
about if
Right.
you just make it so that the people that want meat have to buy it from the meat place, right? That does the meat for the area that you live in. Like you have this many, there's this many cows that have to exist for that many people to eat meat. You know what I mean? If that's the deal, like our chickens, and they could be like, you could have a farm that's your fucking town's farm that you get the meat from, and that way it only impacts as much as it has to, and then there's no like waste, there's no massive kill-offs and all these crazy things that happen with like this mechanized farming. It just seems to make more sense to have that shorter route for food to reach people, more direct, less waste.
So I want to play this video from the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship.
Today, we are lacking social inclusion. We cannot rely on governments alone to provide social infrastructure and safety nets. We must mobilize individuals who, in entrepreneurial and innovative ways, tackle the big problems we are faced with now and in the future.
I'm Maysuna O'Day. I'm a Palestinian entrepreneur. I have co-founded a women radio station based in Ramallah.
I'm Elizabeth Hausler-Strand. I'm the founder and CEO of Build Change.
I'm Tracy Gilmore from the Clothing Bank. I'm the co-founder together with my partner, Tracy Chambers.
The Schwab Foundation gives the social entrepreneurs a network to exchange expertise and experiences. It gives them a global presence and visibility.
Build Change. It's a nonprofit social enterprise that works with people in emerging nations to save lives in earthquakes and typhoons by working together to build houses and schools that don't collapse in them.
It's the first commercial radio station for women in the Middle East region. We empower women in media and we highlight the positive role that women play in building their societies in Palestinian and in the Arab world.
Vision Spring is an organization that provides access to affordable vision services and eyeglasses to people throughout the world.
We help unemployed South Africans start businesses. We build relationships with the major retailers, and they donate their excess stock to us. And we use that stock as the tool to teach unemployed South Africans how to run businesses.
We really work in every aspect of conservation and making conservation relevant to the people that live and depend on natural environment for their livelihoods.
My organization focuses on technology at the intersection of education and entrepreneurship. We develop technology as well as entrepreneurship programs for youth and women.
Social entrepreneurs show all the other leaders who are part of the forum that social responsibility is more important than just making money.
Having access to the World Economic Forum for any social entrepreneur gives us a greater chance to scale our impact.
Thousands of initiatives on a local level that improve the lives of millions of people.
Oh dear. Entrepreneurship, because they can't say entrepreneurship.
Right, entrepreneurial.
I don't know what the fuck.
That's what that Musk guy wants, them entrepreneurial chips put right in your brain, man. I'm a little entrepreneur.
I love how it's our everything, like our news, our people, our impact, our selection process, our COVID-19
narrative
response, our well-being initiative.
There was something else.
Poutine.
send it over?
I don't know.
I had it. Was that in the Brave tab? Okay.
I didn't show anything.
Sorry, I thought there was. Was it this that I was looking at? No, it wasn't that I was thinking of. Ah! It was definitely on the Schwab thing. All right, I don't know. You can go back to wherever you were. Which one were you looking at it at?
I was on YouTube.
I had something more about it that I lost where I was with it that I wanted to.
The fucking rabbit hole with these people.
There's Hilda.
Yes, there is she. There she is.
She's so creepy looking. Whoa,
Mhm.
that woman has creepy eyes. Damn.
The daughter is creepy too. She speaks really
Joanna.
Nicole
There she
Schwab.
is.
She looks so like just down to earth, like hippie.
They all have
Like
glasses.
yeah.
Yeah, they all look studious with their glasses and they're nice. It's just like, oh man,
It's the glasses
These people
family.
they're just invasive. How the tendrils are just in everybody's pockets, all over the place. Like people that you wouldn't think would be tied in are tied in. Oh yeah, we're all about sustainability, man.
Yeah.
WEF. Okay.
Yep. You can go onto the Schwab found.org, like foundation, basically found.org.
I'll put it in
And
the
you
chat.
can they're going and they're starting to now say that they're going in the direction of the environment, and they're really, really concerned about the environment. And it's Klaus Schwab's daughter that they're using as she's like the one that's going to head this on.
She's the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the Tony Fauci of the operation.
I feel like there
She
was
also
another
has-
thing did I send you something else, Elle? I feel like I'm missing a link here or something that I had to do
Well,
with this.
sent
And
you- Well, I didn't send. Did I? I don't know where I put it, but I put the World Economic Forum page with her bio in it.
oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
I did see that
globalist
one.
shit all over the place.
Yeah. She looks almost Amy Goodwin. Sure.
Oh God.
Jim Young. We talked about you before.
We
Jim Young,
did.
We did shout you out, bro.
We shouted you out.
It was like that Jimmy Mama guy.
Is this just as impactful as the Clinton Global Initiative,
Gosh.
which was named by Jeffrey Epstein, allegedly?
Gosh, I hope it has the same kind of pedophile weight and feel. What the fuck? How come?
Transforming through trust, social innovators have improved the lives of 722 million people. Y'all didn't hear about that?
In 190
We haven't been in
countries.
the loop, I guess.
I haven't been paying attention to all the
A
people.
lot of
that
people
help.
to improve the lives of.
It really is.
It's pretty crazy. And then like I started
You
to
have
kind of go
awards?
through the website a little bit, and I'm like what's happening here? Where is it? There was more about the environment that
Graphs and charts. Helpful. So you can understand how many of the 722 million lives that have been directly improved by the
They say thousands there. I guess they really upped the ante.
Yeah. They're really doubling down with the sustainability thing, like Kate was saying about them probably noticing random people utilizing abandoned city spaces to plant agriculture and have gardens and things like that, and that people like the Schwabs are paying attention to that. And they'd much rather if you let them do the growing, if you know what I mean. They have trained people for that. Okay. So you'll get your bug sandwich and stop planting your tomatoes, or we'll come and arrest you, or just lower your social credit score, whatever. We'll just take your money. So yeah. Innovation. Thanks, Chucky Schwab and fam.
Yeah.
Hildy.
Chuck.
Nikki. Do you think she gets
Schwab,
called
okay.
Nikki? Do you think she's ever been called Nikki instead of Nicole?
Oh.
I don't think so. I get the feeling that
Nick.
that's Nick, maybe, or Nicholas, probably. She has a, I don't know, she has a definite kind of vibe. And I'll just leave
They're
it
all
there.
very powerful, and I love that for them.
Super powerful. They have good money. They know a lot of nice, influential people.
350
really
plus, maybe even 400 compared
maybe
to the
even
rest of us.
4. Well, they're entrepreneurs,
That's pretty
so they can
Intra and
they pretty
Entra.
much
Yeah.
and Entra. They're both, they're bi, and they take advantage of that, I think. And can you
Before
blame them?
we,
Really?
I don't know when. Okay, go ahead.
I stand with the bugs, Popeye said.
Oh my God. So I wanted to like, I was like, all right, so what are they kind of like looking for at the Schwab Foundation? Right? Like, what do they do there?
What do they do?
So they have awards. They give out awards. They want to honor the societal change leaders across the diversity of social innovation models in society in 4 different award categories: social entrepreneurs, of course, corporate social entrepreneurs, public social entrepreneurs.
Side note: groundhogs almost ate half of my garden already.
Okay, Steve, stop. Collective social
No, I'm just
innovation
saying.
award. Okay, Steve.
Groundhogs are dicks.
Okay, so this year the Schwab Foundation incorporates a new award category. The Collective Social Innovation Award to recognize the evolving. What, Steve?
I said, ooh.
Okay. Recognize evolving systemic approaches to social change, inspired by the collective approaches developed by social entrepreneurs over the years. Collectives are groups or networks of organizations committed into addressing a bigger problem than an individual organization can take on and is best suited to achieving large-scale system-level change.
Right on.
So this is like, like they have like what they're looking for in their leaders.
Yeah. They like that social innovation.
So they want the people they're doing social and environmental change models and initiatives that have primary emphasis on vulnerable, excluded, or marginalized populations and their natural ecosystems that stand for their creative and unique way of addressing the issue, whose work is already well established and has proven its impact, with a systemic lens to tackle the root of the problem instead of an isolated issue that both drivers and considers the environmental impact of its activities. You just have to consider it and the drive. Embraces diversity and inclusion in its governance strategies and practices, whose work leverages technology to amplify and accelerate impact. So like, it sounds great, right? Like that sounds like it's like, oh, well, that's not bad. that they're looking for those kind of people, right?
Accelerate impact on 3, 2, 1. I love Thinkfish, you guys. I see you in the chat talking about Zappa and the man from Utopia. Dong work for you, yeah, man.
So the SWAP Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship included 15 awardees for social innovation in 2022 on 18th January of 2022. At, where is it? The Davos agenda, of course. From using hip hop to transform the lives of dwellers in Brazil, unlocking ancient storytelling, augmented reality in Australia, decentralizing healthcare in the Netherlands, eradicating hunger, in Costa Rica, mobilizing 200 million for global public healthcare innovation in Switzerland. Social innovators are finding systemic solutions to the world's most pressing problems to ensure a just, sustainable, and equitable
Everything
world.
gonna grow in this entrepreneur manure. That's a lot of damn money that they got, doing work of, social change and the systems of social change and augmented reality. That sounds like fun. Let's, can we augment our reality a little right here? Everybody hold your breath for 47 seconds.
What are you talking about?
We're going to augment our reality.
No. We're not
That's
doing
illegal.
that.
Don't do it. If you live in Utah, you could be arrested.
Oh my God.
If your second wife sees you, if you have more than one wife and your second wife sees you and it's Thursday, you could be arrested in Utah for holding your breath for more than 47 seconds. Look it up. All right. I was just lying about that. The WEF has been playing this "we're here to help you" bullshit facade upon the 99% for decades. And the only ones that prosper are their 0.001% members. So how do you get on that 400 list, man? That's a dope list. I want to get in this club. It's like going to the disco in the 70s. Very exclusive. You have to be able to bullshit people really well. Yeah, Dweezel's a fucking sick little bastard on the guitar. I seen the Zappa play Zappa, and his band is off the chizzies. Get stoned and augment your reality, everyone. I mean, if that's your thing. So what do we have here? We got some new allies. Is that where you're at? No, you've scrolled past it. I don't know. Social innovators COVID-19 response. I bet that's full of social innovation. Right? No? Everybody's ignoring me. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to know.
Steve, I don't know. You're talking in really weird circles.
I'm
just
reading
kind
the
of like
text as it's going by, and I'm commenting and I'm asking, and I see COVID response team and there's social innovations happening, and I'm a curious guy. I like to know what Klaus and Hildebrandt are up to. Is it Hildebrandt? Is that her? No, I don't know.
Hilda.
I might have just added that extra Brandt part, I guess.
I'm still here, by the way. If anyone was wondering, I'm noshing again.
I may be augmented. Forgive me, P stuff.
what the hell is even happening?
I don't know. They were talking about augmented reality. Like, we'll get the kids on the Meta, and they'll love it. We'll teach them the code. It'll be fabulous. We'll hook them right up to the back of the head. They'll be fucking loving it. Just like that movie we saw one time.
I wanted to get to something before we leave the YouTube stream.
Oh, please. Because we haven't delayed it enough. We need to fill in some space here.
It's just one thing, real quick, but the PayPal purge is happening. It's been happening for a while. So PayPal is not disabling. They're keeping people from accessing their accounts and saying they're going to keep the money that they have in their accounts for like 3 months or some shit.
Huh.
And it's like, or 6 months? I don't even fucking know. But like a long time.
Yeah.
Many days.
Don't keep anything in PayPal.
So just heads up, there's a purge happening on PayPal with accounts that are not of the narrative, whatever that narrative may be. And it will change. It's a shifting narrative. The narrative is constantly shifting, so you never know how much you can talk about whatever you can talk about. And Patreon has done the same thing, but PayPal literally has your money. So be careful.
Yeah,
Don't
they
piss
just
off the
did
PayPal
that
people.
to what's his name? RedTube guy. I can't think of his name right now.
Caleb Maupin.
Caleb Maupin. They just did that to him. Said 6 months, I believe, 180 days before he can access.
Yeah, 6 months, 180 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also Consortium News and Mint Press News. So
They had already done this to Whitney Webb as
very
well.
recently.
They had already done that to Whitney Webb through
They
the
had.
Patreon.
So that's why I say it's continuing. It didn't just start happening.
Right.
No.
More the same.
Did everybody hit that like button for us and make
Please
sure that
hit
you're
the
still
like.
subscribed?
Sure.
They like to unsubscribe people from this channel. And I did pin to the top of the chat the link for Rumble. So if you are not linked to go over to Rumble, make sure you do that while we are still here on YouTube. In case you have any issues, we can get you over there.
Oh, I remember those friggin' was it Klaus Schwab? It was Carl Schwab and E.F. Hutton in the 80s, and they like lost their asses in the 90s or one of them crashed.
Everett, I'm trying to show your
One of those
pretty
banks
handsome
folded.
face.
I can't remember.
There we go.
It gets mixed up.
Look how big his feet are.
Yeah, it would seem so, Jim, that everyone does get their agenda handed down to them from this family.
Yeah, and they're having her take over the whole environmental aspect of it. Like she's the one who's handling, Klaus Schwab's daughter. So like they don't really talk about her though. Like it's kind of weird to me because it's like, wait, where did she come from? Did you really know about her, Elle? Like, as this like, was I just not knowing about Klaus Schwab's daughter?
No, I had heard that he was married in Das Forum, the documentary, but I hadn't heard of his adult kids. They are on his Wikipedia page, though.
They are. Yeah, well, I didn't know, like, if he had, I didn't think, like, whether or not he had kids. And I didn't think, like, oh, yeah, they must be, like, tied into this. But, of course, it's always the same. But so they're going to take the current thing that's happening and the C thing, and they're going to use that in order to, they're trying to push that agenda on the climate. And they're trying to say that that's like, we need to use the same, like the NASA that we're using for this, that we need to put it on that. And we need to do the same thing. We need to do it the same intensity.
Lots of restrictions. Put on your mask. Shut up. It's climate change.
Well, no, it's not about that. But be
yeah,
careful.
no.
We're still on YouTube, Steve. I'm just going to remind you of that real quick. That we're still on YouTube.
Well, I don't think I said anything outline.
I'm just reminding you now so that you don't.
Switch over because it's probably about time.
Is it about time? There was something else I wanted to cover on this, but I can't find the thing that I was looking for. That makes me really upset because I had stuff ready to go. Let me just look real quick. Elle, hold it down.
Elle's eating, but you can listen to me. Sure.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I'm sorry. I
don't
wasn't
care.
trying to do that.
Free ASMR.
Ah, why can I not find the thing I had? It was something to do. It was with the daughter, and the fact that it was all, they were all connected. I thought I had sent it over.
In the meantime, Nina was a theater kid, and she believed Russiagate. And she's going to be in charge of the disinformation agency.
Oh yeah, there is
the-
that though. We could show that real quick. The thing that I think I posted that in our group chat today. I can find that one.
I'm the
Because-
best at segue.
Yeah, you're a good seguer. You're good at helping with the segue.
And eating pasta.
Yeah, that too. Where is it? Geez, how far back is this? Oh, no, that's why. It's in a different... I gotta send it over. I'm gonna send it over to you, Steve. Well, I got it right here. So yeah, I found this today. Found it quite interesting that the same woman that is going to do the disinformation. See her right here? I don't know who can see her. Is she showing up on the StreamYard? There we go. There she is. What is it doing?
Sort of power. And
so you guys should find this interesting. It is not her singing. Unfortunately, I know you guys are going to be really disappointed in this, but
imagine that, with President Trump right now calling all of these news organizations that have inconvenient for him stories that they're getting out there, that he's calling fake news and now lashing out at platforms. I would never want to see our executive branch have that sort of power. And that's why, the legislative process with our duly elected officials is really important, that sort of consultative rulemaking process. And we can't just govern by executive order anymore. I think I'll leave it there. I think the reverberations in the free speech space are huge. Not to mention, this is exactly what Section 230 was designed to do, to allow the platforms to enforce the standards on their own spaces. So I think, the entire conversation is being obviously blown out of proportion for political reasons. But in the more democratic countries, I'm thinking in particular of Poland. Poland has established this consultative process with its Ministry of Digitalization and Facebook, because, like the Trump administration, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Law and Justice Party got this idea from the Trump administration. They believe that there is anti-conservative bias on Facebook, even though there have been multiple studies that prove otherwise. And they have this consultative process where they send someone from the Ministry of Digitalization to discuss with Facebook's officers in Warsaw all of the instances of unfair content moderation, and some of them are being overturned through that political pressure. They have a tip line that people can kind of report when they think their content has been unjustly overturned. And the Trump administration has a similar thing. So it's providing a lot of fodder for anti-democratic online governance. And it's very, very scary. And I think this is really where Congress needs to step in. I think we're seeing cooperation ramp up on a number of levels. So I will be completely honest and say that my program at the Wilson Center is partially funded by Facebook.
So there's that. Her opinion has completely changed from then until now, obviously.
Weird.
I know. It's really weird how that happens.
I love the PayPal in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't put that up there. I'm like, I'll stick PayPal up here. So yeah, that's, you know, how interesting is that all of a sudden, like, you know, like it's a completely different thing once you've sung show tunes and now work for them. It's like
33 years old, allegedly. Wikipedia can't figure it out yet. So.
Cannot confirm.
Oh my gosh, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
This is where we
so
live
we
now.
have it's so I say we live in the zombie apocalypse all the time, and I really mean that. I feel like everybody's kind of walking around like a zombie, and it goes back to like what we were talking about at the beginning and how we were talking about people with their trauma and everything else and all the intricate trauma and then being so overwhelmed with everything that's happening all the time. It's like and then people like flip-flopping completely their ideology of what it is based upon who is you know, free and fairly elected and put into office or into office or whatever. You know what I mean? Like your opinion, my opinions don't change based upon what supposed leader or whatever is in office. Like that is not where I don't change my mind like that. Like how do people keep up with their own thought process when it's constantly changing like that? Like how do you even keeping up with the truth is a lot. How do you keep up with lies? Like it's crazy.
How good they are at that, but then sometimes they're not so good.
Yeah, and sometimes they're really not so good at all.
And then we find them out, and
videos
they're
like
like,
that.
no, you didn't see that. You didn't see that. That didn't happen. They try to gaslight, and you're like, no, everyone.
I'm sure that she'll wipe it. You know, she's the head of the Ministry of Truth. You know what I mean? Like she can, you know,
she can clear that up. She can take care of that.
Yep.
Shadow bond. I'm like really far behind on this chat.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
I remember those commercials.
Well, we should wrap up the chat before we go then.
Yeah, let's
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking at it.
We love you.
Oh my
all.
gosh, talking about the groundhogs. I used to have groundhogs that used to sneak into, like when Skyla was really little, she was like 3, I think. And we had ducks because she loved ducks so much. So we got her ducks and we built her a whole duck's house. And, you know, we had a whole duck thing for her because she loved them so much. And, you know, we didn't have a lot of land where we lived, but it was our land. So we had ducks and we used the duck's eggs and stuff. And, Peking ducks, the big white ducks, they are stupid. They are dumb as fuck. And we had some mallards. Actually, they were cousins to mallards. They're called khaki Campbells, so they look very similar. Most people couldn't tell the difference between the khaki Campbells and the mallards. But yeah, the groundhog used to go in there and sneak in and like open up the trough to like where all like, you know, we would put the dry duck food in there. And they would they would open it up and they would shove it in their cheeks, and then they would take it and run away. And I had a dog named Shorty, and she was a miniature Dachshund. She was found like in the middle of like the woods and like in the middle of like basically nowhere. It was in Stonington one day, and we took her in, and she didn't have a home, no chip, no nothing. Like, you know, this was long time ago. But Dachshunds, miniature Dachshunds, they were actually bred to go into groundhog holes and chase them out and flush them out. Well, Shorty used to go into the groundhog holes, we found out, but not to like flush them out. I think she was friends with them. I don't know, but she would go in the fucking groundhog holes. So, yeah, I love groundhogs, even though they are.
Because they forget
in the
after
ass.
a while. If they don't do it all the time, they're just like, I got to get down in that hole. All right.
Yeah, like instinct. Instinct says I need to go in this hole. I don't know what she did down there, and I would be out there like, Shorty, Shorty, like yeah, like
I thought it would.
and she would be dirty, and she would come.
Yeah, they've also planned to try to tear down our little self-sufficiency community, parallel communities and things and stuff like that, and try to crush that out. But I think that will be the resistance. That will be the place where resistance will be, because people don't fucking play, and they'll be met with fucking force, you know, because you can't just, you know, you can obliterate people. Colonists do it all the time. When it's your own people, you know what I mean? Hopefully that has some kind of bearing. But if it's just a whole government, you know, a world government, they don't give a fuck which country they're in. And all those rights that you think you had in America are...
They want one world government. They want one world government. We can't talk about that really on here, though.
No.
So I'm going through the chat.
One world.
Oh, P Stuff said that Steve is augmented.
Well,
Little said, what is noshing? I'm sure you probably got your answer.
It was bound to happen.
I went to the restroom just now, so I missed the end of that. Sorry.
That's all right.
I had to go.
You don't have to apologize for doing that.
Nope.
And that was a good choice. It's one thing that I always remind people of when I say we make choices every day, and everything in life is a choice. Is like one of my things is always, you know, I chose to get up and out of my bed this morning and go to the bathroom to piss instead of pissing right in my bed. I made that choice. Like, you know what I mean? Like people feel like you don't make choices, but you do. Every day, if you get up and you decide not to piss in your fucking bed, then that's a choice. I mean, you know?
Choosers choose choices.
Kamshwari Kate said, has anyone ever heard of those 1980s or 90s commercials that would say, when Carl Schwab speaks, people listen? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes.
Who the fuck is Carl Schwab?
I don't know.
It was, what kind of commercial was that?
What? It was like a stock exchange commercial. It was like investment.
Wouldn't that be Charles Schwab? Charles Schwab?
That's what I think it was. Charles, not Carl. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, Charles. I have heard of Charles Schwab.
Well, Jim Young, he said everyone, and I mean everyone, gets their marching orders from the WEF, ET. Hey, is it AI or AL? Especially
AL.
in the past
AL.
few years. Yeah.
Not us. Not us.
No.
They'd be paying me way better than nothing.
No, like they are paying us in the negative. Like we get suppressed and we get fucked with. That's how we get paid. We get paid in a different way. We get paid. They're like, we get paid back on those bitches. But Jim, Mr. Mana Talk, he has an awesome show. You guys should all go over and subscribe. And Jim, you should drop your link for your show in the chat. And Jim and Stevie from Redneck Economics is going to be on the show this week coming up. Ooh.
That's true.
All right.
That's coming up.
I think we're doing Thursday.
Is it Thursday or Wednesday? One of those days.
I don't know. I
Well,
think we're to Thursday.
I'll have to find out.
We'll put it up though and let you guys know. But yeah.
What is the chat thing? Say something about this. That's live discussion. Huh. I'm trying to figure out this Odyssey thing. It's weird.
Riley said my like button is not working. Sorry, Lucky. Riley.
Dang. Okay. That's
John said, let's go, Brandon.
it looks good.
I don't know where they got that idea from.
I can't see anybody chatting
What?
on the Odyssey.
On the Odyssey?
Yeah, I can see the chat. I can see the thing.
What about
looks great, but it's
Rumble? Is anybody over on the Rumble?
not- people probably on the
Are you
Rumble.
guys on the
Kate's
Rumble?
That's Podbean. That's not that. That's not Rumble.
I love this. Oz said, I can't imagine the Schwabs having sex. They must have gotten the daughter on Amazon. Oh!
Ew.
Go to
Yeah, it's very...
Hey,
Thanks for the image.
there.
Oz.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't want to think about it.
I did it.
I'm going to have like nightmares tonight. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Bum, bum, bum.
Are we getting closer?
I got.
I
over
think
to
so.
the-
I think we're almost.
Oh shit!
I got to the
We got a
Rumble.
bot.
There's 5 of us in here, and I can't tell about the Odyssey because I can't do both at once. I guess effectively. Oh, it's tiny.
I put him in a timeout. That's a bad bot.
Subtitles, closed caption. No.
Oh, Jam. He's eating chips and pizza. I mean, there are some healthy chips and healthy pizzas. Yeah,
That's true. It ain't all bad pizza. I refuse to believe
Bad
it.
robot.
That's a bad robot.
Okay, Kate. We'll see you at Rumble.
I see Kate in the Rumble chat over there. I see Elle.
We'll get into the copyright crap there
Yeah.
that we can't get into here, even though it's totally fine. But
I know, and it's weird because I can't put the chats up on the screen on Rumble, but we are still going to be right in there and paying attention. Jim said, if you support any Fed on the Hill, you support the future slavery of all of us. Trump has been a tool of theirs for a while. Yeah, you don't get in that position without being a tool for the establishment. You don't get in that position like unless you become the Fed, then you win. No, see, but I wouldn't ever become the Fed. Oh no, I won't do it. Yeah. Yeah, the 3-3 keeps coming up. That number that it's a freaking Freemason thing too.
it's just
It's
a
always-
coincidence.
It's just a coincidence. Doesn't mean nothing. It's just numbers.
Yeah. Jim was asking if anyone here has watched all of Event 201. Read the SPAR
yeah.
document. I haven't seen
I
all.
have. I've seen all of them. All of those things. I have watched and read. And told Jimmy Dore about.
So Jilly is saying that people are testing Twitter, like posting stuff that was banned, like the I word and the big V, and saying that they're not safe and not effective. Oh my God, is it working?
Well, yeah, because that's fine, but Elon, not so much, apparently. For me, anyway. And Pfizer. Moderna's fine. If you say fuck Moderna, you're fine. But if you say fuck Pfizer, that's no good. Time out for you.
I wonder how much you have to say it because I definitely hashtag
Just once, apparently.
I hashtag fuck Pfizer like yesterday or the day before, and nothing happened.
You can hashtag it. That's fine. I didn't hashtag it. I said fuck at Pfizer.
I see.
Everything's fine in a hashtag.
We're heading over to Odyssey and Rumble. So please grab us over there. Does anyone have the link for the Odyssey? Do you have that, Steve?
I do.
There's a special link that we're supposed to use, because if you haven't signed up for Odyssey, it gives us credit and you credit for the site.
I thought that was the one that was in the description.
Is it?
I think so.
Is it in our description? We have it? All right. All right. Let me see.
We're gonna have fun on Rumble, believe me, guys.
Yeah, we still have 16 of y'all right here on YouTube. The number's going down though, so I'm hoping that means you guys are going over to Rumble. Is everybody coming over here?
Yeah, there's like 12 people on Rumble right
now. We have 6 currently watching on Odyssey.
Okay. All right. Is everybody getting over? We still have 16 on YouTube. I wanted to, make sure that we got everybody off of YouTube, because they won't let us do it here.
Yeah, I think you got it pretty much.
All right. I know I'm still trying to get through the chat. I'm just that's what I'm doing. Yeah, Kate said it was Charles. She was confused. Yes, I remember that though. Charles Schwab. Oh my God, we're getting the freaking stupid webcam hot girls. Wow, a lot of them.
Yeah, I know. Left, love you. Good night. Please watch the replay on Rumble when you can.
Yes,
Odyssey,
yeah.
whichever you prefer.
Yeah.
It's a pound sign. That's right.
That's the fun stuff. We're doing the fun stuff over there.
Oh, I think we're all caught up. Is everybody over there? Is everybody over on Odyssey or Rumble?
Oh,
I only have the Rumble open on mine over here. But I only see 4 likes on the Rumble, and there's 12 people here. What's happening?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so stupid. Let me
Don't call yourself stupid.
Nope.
I know. I caught it. 5 Rumbles. I'm late. We have 5 now.
I keep saying Lucky Spring Rolls. That's kind of like Asian Lucky Burrito, isn't it?
13 watching.
Delicious. Yeah, there was 15 a second ago, but everybody left. Well, 2 people.
And now 7 watching on Odyssey. I wasn't talking about YouTube.
All right. Is everybody on YouTube over onto the Rumble or the Odyssey? I hope so. Because we're going to miss you if you're not.
And watch the replay if you don't want to go there.
That's right. Why does he keep
You always
saying
play us
Lucky
again.
Spring Rolls?
Who's saying Lucky Spring Rolls?
I am. Why? I don't know. Because it repeats. When you put something in this app, it'll just say it again and again all the time you want it, so you don't have to keep writing shit. If you're like, if you're chatting with people and you're just like fuck off, and you just type it once and you're good.
Oh my God! All right, we're gonna say goodnight to YouTube.
Elle Latham is talking to me via Rumble.
Oh wait! Oh, Riley said, "What's the link?"
Trippy.
The link for the Rumble.
Put the link in the thing. Oh my God. It just turned May 2nd. Hurry up. We have to hurry.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It was May 1st.
Well, we already did the May Day part.
We did. So I guess we're right on schedule.
We're just looking at
perfection.
Politician bullshit.
It's like Everett. Perfection.
All right, I'm putting the link in. Oh, you got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
They got it.
That's the link that I shared.
All right.
See y'all there.
Welcome to Rumble and Odyssey, everybody who's on Rumble and Odyssey with us. Fuck you, YouTube, and have a nice night. We love you.
We haven't gotten a Rumble rant. We need to get a Rumble rant over here and see how they works.
Rank this.
Can everybody hit the like button on that Rumble for us?
Hit that booba-dooba-doobers.
That Rumble. Give us a Rumble. All right.
We've got
So we're officially going to say bye to YouTube now.
It's been fun on YouTube. You're so kind to let us on your platform for a short amount of time.
Couple hours.
More than last time. because
YouTube.
We're just doing one thing. Thank you so much.
my YouTube.